You thank Lintera by you to brought his podcast, Unexpected and of Episode. This
episode of an Unexpected Podcast is brought to you by Tara Lynn. Thank you. Hello, friends, and welcome to an Unexpected Podcast. I'm Ez,
and I'm Lane.
and we're talking Tolkien.
We're coming to you from the Shire of America, the beautiful state of Ohio, in a little village called A to the M to the A to the N to the D to the A.
Which means Amanda. Just in case you...
I think I got all the letters. Did
I had trouble putting it together. This week, we've got our listening ears as we break into Book 4 and cover the Taming of Sméagol as a part of our journey through Middle-earth.
Listening ears? What are you implying?
Nothing. I'm just reading what's on the script. Okay? Anchorman over here.
We got a little special notification here for Table of Contents. Bywater Post is going to be a little different today, so you might want to stick around for that. It kind of ties into a cool giveaway that we have going on Instagram, so please stay tuned until the end.
Okay. I will. Thank you.
Quick counsel. Ezra Kirk, how are you?
I am great. You
want to start off this episode with what do you always say? Reward positivity? Is that what you say?
Yeah, I do. I think it's important to...
Isn't that tattooed on your bottom?
Yeah, it's right. It's
buttock?
Yeah.
The right side?
No, left with a rainbow into a pot of gold. But anyways, sorry, guys. This is where we're at. We just had a wonderful Discord chat.
Yeah.
It literally went for like 2 hours. We also recorded a bunch of appendices before the podcast, so we are running on fumes.
It's been a magical 24 hours.
It has, and I think that's...
We actually recorded the first episode of Further Up.
We did, yeah, exactly. So that is, and Lane has challenged me to get, that all up and going by...
That's my job, Bubba.
Well, I mean, you want that up by Sunday? By today?
What do the people want?
Guys, go
check
out...
What do the Narnians want?
Go check out Further Up and see if the episode's there. It may be up right now.
It may be.
As you're listening to us. So, but we love you guys. Yeah. And so we had a lot going on. We had Goldberry on that episode. Yeah. She is going to join us in that adventure. And my friend, I was talking to Goldberry and some of the folks on Discord, some of our patrons, before we started. We had a nice little phone conversation with Chase McKinney. Mm-hmm. We're prepping for...
Big Mac.
Have we said what we're doing?
We're going down to Rohan.
Okay, cool. We've said it. I can't remember if we did.
Tejas.
Yep. Yeah. So we're heading there. But anyways, we had a nice little conversation with him, and then it kind of continued. Winnie woke up for a little bit, and Lane had to go up and do his, you're just a good dad.
Ezra was just yelling, so I had to go calm down the child.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking.
Okay. Sometimes I talk loud on the podcast, and this is part of why we need a studio. Okay, this is why we need to put put Ez out in the in the garage. But guys, honest to God, we actually say we didn't give any indication one way or another of how we felt to our patrons or anybody during Discord, because we wanted to save it for everyone. Mm-hmm. On today's podcast, I am absolutely blown away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said, so I woke up in the morning on Friday and I saw what had happened with the Kickstarter project, and I literally just wrote speechless at 5 a.m. on Facebook. I was speechless, just ... Into the day, Lane continues it with still speechless. Yeah. Because we are, at that time, it was mind blowing. I decided to launch the Kickstarter because, Tolkien's birthday has been significant to us, and we started the podcast there. We thought we'd do something else kind of significant to keep improving it and keep the, juices flowing, the journey, everything fired up, because I'm so excited to be doing this and Narnia and just I talked to Sarah and Lane today just about their friendship and how much it means to me, and how blessed and honored I am to have you guys in my life, and to have you who are listening in my life. I cannot say it enough. I went through some pretty rough times for several years before this, and I am coming to a much better place in my life, and I'm just so excited, man. I have never had a better start to a year, and this is actually I was prepping for this speech before we even did the Kickstarter. Yeah. My whole plan was to launch the Kickstarter and hopefully get like $20 to $40, which would have been our mom, like your mom and dad, my dad, my sister.
Maybe us.
Yeah, maybe us. Yeah. And, make those donations. Be like, hey, we've got it started. Here it is. I never thought I would wake up and it's doubled.
You guys have doubled our goal.
You've doubled our goal already.
Probably more by the time.
And it might be more by the time we hit Sunday, and we hope it is. I mean, it's crazy to we said up front we can't do this without your help. Actually,
no,
and it's just not a reality. And so we needed that to just kickstart, see if there was interest, see if you guys were okay with us moving forward in that direction, and we heard you loud and clear.
Yeah, I mean,
yes,
blown away. I don't even know how to put it into words. Yes, it's all on Kickstarter. It's an unexpected studio. As worked really hard, put together a video. We talked about like what do we even like? What do we do? What do we even set as a goal? We have no idea.
No idea.
And we were like, maybe we'll reach this goal within 60 days.
Right.
Maybe. And I mean, we underestimated you guys
big time.
Which I don't know how we did. I guess mostly we didn't want to think that.
Well, we didn't want to
impose. You know what I mean?
We didn't want to ask for too much. We wanted just enough to kickstart it, and then
right.
Because here's my thing, and Lane's not going to like me saying this, but I'm working on a proposition for just depending on how far this goes. Because to be quite frank, Lane said this. Forget where it was on social media that like we need a lot more than obviously the 800 we were asking for.
Right.
That was just to get us like going. I mean, that was literally just to get the ball rolling, and we were. I don't know, man. It's gonna take you like close to five grand, maybe $7 grand to do it, and to do it right.
Right.
And that's what I want to do. It's such a nice space. And I talked about with Sarah today the vision that I had while I was out there in just walking around your backyard. It was such a nice day. I've been feeling so good. It's a new year, and I literally could see your kids growing up here.
Yeah.
And I could see like I had this influence. I've been noticing more and more just being around my niece Rachel, who I love so much, and Winnie, the influence that I have on them, that you guys have on me. You guys like it's guys, here's how crazy connections are, right? You guys do something like that influences me, and then I'm like this ball of energy, positive energy, and I get to go then affect a whole bunch of other people with the energy that you just gave to me, whether it's through a comment or encouragement or a review or a Tolkien story, or supporting us on the Kickstarter, man. It just, we're blown away.
Yeah.
And I can't say it enough. My plan, even though Lane and Sarah don't like this, is basically to whatever goal we end up getting, I plan on doubling it. I do, and I don't care. I know you don't want me to say it on the podcast.
Nuts.
I don't care.
It's nuts.
I said it, and we can't be unsaid. Okay, I mean up to $5 grand. But no, I do. I actually want to really do it justice. I want when you guys come to the long expected party, if we're still holding it here, I want that to be a cool place where you guys can stop in, and we can record some stuff. So you can see what's been accomplished. And if it gets so big to where we have to rent out the field over here, it's still right across the road where you can come over and check it out here in Amanda. And
record in the studio, see your name on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really that's the whole goal, is to make it this is something we're going to be doing for all of us together for years.
Yeah.
So it needs a permanent home. It needs its own space. This is
right.
It's perfect that it started here in our dining room.
Yes.
Where, I don't know, in the heart of the house.
Yeah.
But I think it's fitting that as we continue on this journey, that it gets its own space created for it.
Yeah.
So I'm blown away. Like the fact that you guys doubled our goal in 24 hours
is nuts.
It's nuts. And it just speaks to who you guys are.
Good people.
As always talks about givers versus takers. Yep. This group is a group full of givers.
That's right.
And we can't express enough how we could talk here until we're blue in the face.
And we want to. Sorry,
yeah, we do.
We want to now.
It's how grateful we are, and how honored we are, and how we don't take this lightly. How this is, we are going to pursue creating the coolest, best space to continue to create episodes every week for this book club until we work all the way through Tolkien, and then maybe we'll circle back around. You know, by then we'll probably be senile and won't remember the books anyway, and we'll go, "What was that one?"
Yeah,
well, the Fellowship,
and we got the show coming. I mean, we've got so many things. I said it weeks ago, but like, I want this to be a place where people look at us and they say, you know what, these guys have created something that's we together have created something that's super positive. Yeah, and we reward positivity. Yeah. You know,
well, now we're venturing through the wardrobe into Narnia too.
Yeah, exactly.
So who knows where else it's going to go? Who knows?
I know, and
so it's exciting.
You guys have been great, and it's just we feed off of your energy, and hopefully that's vice versa. Yeah. But just honestly can't thank you enough. And the last thing I want to say about the Kickstarter, you know, we have the rewards listed in there. We're gonna do some custom painting of your names on the Deeping Wall, just to kind of, you know, a place where you're protecting us while we're kind of in there podcasting, and we're doing what we have to do. Yeah. And outside of that will be kind of like a lounge area, you know, like the kind of like we say couples cave, you know, type of thing. Yeah. I call it the flannel wizard hut of all huts is what I'm envisioning.
The yurt.
I mean, you know, I probably do need a hammock out there. So,
well, you were talking about how you don't like waking up to Winnie or something. So
bull crap.
You need your own space.
Bull crap. I literally want to wake up before you guys, grab Winnie, and leave a note and say she's with me out in the studio. I'm training her up.
It's a Skywalker thing to do.
Yeah. So yeah. But
we also want to thank Kevin, Mike, Ben, just a few guys who have come forward and said, Fogel, that's right, who've said, you know, hey, whatever you need in terms of getting stuff built, framing it out, putting in, finishing, whatever. Yeah, hit us up. We'll let us be the hour where we draw hammers together, I think is what I said to Ben. So soon that time will come. So again, that's guys, we're just blown away. Like it's amazing. You guys are incredible people, and if we had more groups like the one that we have, the world would be a much merrier place. It really would. So, but we're doing our part within the world, and man, I don't know. It's just amazing how we all take care of each other in this group. I don't know.
It's great. It's wonderful. I want you guys to be inspired. I hope you're as pumped and as jacked as we are. Yeah. If you ever decide to travel a great distance and you're in Ohio and
come to Amanda.
Yeah, we've got a couple bed and breakfasts around here, some hotels and things that you guys can stop in. Come over. Just let us know ahead of time. You know. Yeah.
Well, and especially if you give on Kickstarter and you want to come check out the studio, that's an investment.
Absolutely.
You have every invitation to come out and that's the other thing too, is I keep thinking more and more people are jumping into the group on Facebook. There's lots of people we've never heard from that listen and read along with us and participate silently, kind of on their own. Yeah. And man, I'm just thinking like we've met so few of you.
I know.
And it would be just I don't know. I'm just thinking in my head like this list. We're going to go to Texas. We're going to meet some people in Texas.
That's right. I'm going to go to Scotland.
You're going to go to Scotland. You're going to meet some people in the UK. And just, I don't know, man. I hope I have enough years left to tick all these.
Me too.
These names off and to meet you and thank you in person. So yeah. Speaking of which, we want to talk about the unexpected game night at Jen's place the other night. It was a blast. Yeah. We got together with the Shire rats. The conspirators, Jen, Susie, and Erica, and Ethan was there too.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're up to?
He's a champ. He was a champ.
Yeah, he is. He's undefeated.
He's undefeated.
Undefeated. I actually got an exclusive interview with him that'll be coming up on Patreon as well. Yeah. But we had a blast. We didn't play one game. They played a game before we got there, and then we just talked the whole time, which that's normal. But had a really good time. So Jen, thanks for putting that on. Again, guys, if you have these ambitions to host your own meetups, go for it.
Absolutely.
You don't need our endorsement or our permission. This is do your own thing and invite us, and if we can make it, we will.
Right.
If we can't, we'll send some kind of video or message along or recording or something.
We're doing that for Portland. Travis, thank you, by the way.
We are.
Surprise.
Yeah, so we'll do that. He doesn't listen, I don't think.
Yes, he does.
No, not Travis. I mean,
That's right.
yeah. So yeah, and then someone who was it? I think it was Phil.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to check real quick.
Go for it.
Didn't prep this. Phil, is this Philip Willis?
Might be. Let me see.
I don't know. Phil, if that's you, send us a couple keychains in the mail from XIII's store.
Oh, wow. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure which
is.
Philip this is. But whoever sent us the little pop figurine keychains, Gandalf for Ezra and Strider for me, thank you. Like, just
Does
guys,
that say
we're blown away.
XIII Trading LLC?
It does.
That is so awesome.
It's in Florida. I know.
Dude.
We also have a happy belated birthday to Tollers himself, John Ronald Reuel Tolkien. So real quick, there's this cool 9 things you didn't know or may not have known about J.R.R. Tolkien that Laura Levern sent us on the group, and just wanted to go through them real quick. So we'll summarize those real quick. Number 1 is he did not write The Hobbit for children. This is a quote from Tolkien himself. I am not especially interested in children, and certainly not in writing for them, i.e. in addressing directly and expressly those who cannot understand adult language, he wrote in a letter. So pretty amazing that even though he was this intelligent human being, he didn't believe in talking down to kids, right? He wrote The Hobbit in a way that was for children, but didn't speak down to them.
Yeah.
That really trusted in his audience. Something that's very rare these days, I think.
Yeah.
Though he was a voracious reader, he rarely read the same book twice. His buddy, C.S. Lewis, said that a mark of the unliterary was that they rarely read the same book twice, and that was an accurate definition of Tolkien. Nothing, not even a possible deeper appreciation for me, replaces the bloom on a book, the freshness of the unread, he wrote. Still, what we read and when goes like the people we meet by fate. So believed in just doing it once, and that's part of the experience. Yeah. He invented more than 14 languages. Yeah, we know about that. He also used to write in extinct languages as well. Wow. Like Gothic and medieval Welsh. So amazing. His faith unconsciously seeped into his writing. This is one that you've probably heard. I think this quote's actually in the appendices for the films when they're talking about the stories. The Lord of the Rings is, of course, a fundamentally religious and Catholic work, unconsciously so at first, but consciously in the revision, he wrote. That is why I have not put in or have cut out practically all references to anything like quote-unquote religion, to cults or practices in the imaginary world, for the religious element is absorbed into the story and the symbolism. That's we always talk about how you write what you know, right? Mm-hmm. And whoever you are comes out in what you write. And he was a very religious, faithful man of great faith, and so naturally that's just part of the world he created. Yeah. In the mind of his creator, Sam Gamgee was the real hero of The Lord of the Rings. So Tolkien said, I think the simple, rustic love of Sam and his Rosie, nowhere else elaborated, is absolutely essential to the study of the chief hero's character, and to the theme of the relation of ordinary life, breathing, eating, working, begetting, and quests, sacrifice, causes, and the longing for elves and sheer beauty. If you want to understand the books, look at how Sam loves his wife. So really, really cool. Wow. And true, right? He's the heartbeat of it all. Yeah. Next one is he would have felt right at home in the Shire. He mused on the fact that, he says, I am in fact a hobbit in all but size. I like gardens, trees, and unmechanized farmlands. I smoke a pipe and like good plain food unrefrigerated, but detest French cooking. I like and even dare to wear in these dull days ornamental waistcoats. I am fond of mushrooms out of a field, have a very simple sense of humor, which even my appreciative critics find tiresome. I go to bed late and get up late when possible. I do not travel much.
Wow.
Is that Bilbo himself?
That's awesome.
Yeah. He was a World War I veteran. We all knew that. Yeah. He had a very simple view of the meaning of life. It may be said that the chief purpose of life for any one of us is to increase according to our capacity. Our capacity, our knowledge of God by all the means we have, and to be moved by it to praise and thanks. Amazing. Yeah. His fictional world and his real life often intertwined. Goes on here to talk about Beren and Luthien, how that was the love story of he and his wife, Edith. And then also talking about his time in the trenches and how his early stories reflected that. A lot of what happened in the Silmarillion reflected some of those stories he wrote early on. So a lot of those you probably know. Some of them you may not have known, or it might be a fresh take on that. But that's from an article, again, in Relevant that Laura shared our way. So I thought it was fitting to kind of share since his birthday just happened.
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome.
127 he would have been.
Wow, man.
That's a Hobbit number.
That's pretty cool. Some neat stuff about him, and just he's someone. What was the book that you have always recommended?
It's his it's the author of the century, J.R.R. Tolkien. It's by Tom Shippey.
Okay.
And actually, I started reading that again. It's good, man. Tom Shippey's he's such a good author. So it's really, really good.
I think I need to. That should be something on my list.
Yes. Yeah. You could find it at half price for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. You want to plug a little something there?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Further up, looking for Lewis. Yeah, man.
What is it? Tell us what it is.
So what it is a Narnia podcast that we've struck out on this adventure. We're going further up,
Following the lion, right?
That's right.
Chasing after Aslan.
Aslan Moves. You can find us at that handle actually, at Aslan Moves.
Yep.
What do we got? Instagram, Twitter.
I don't know if we don't think we have a Twitter
Working
yet.
on Twitter.
We can get a Twitter done. Yeah.
But that same handle will work on Facebook. You can also just type in Further Up. I think I'm gonna go. I forgot to do this, but I'm gonna like it on our page, so it'll appear in the corner.
Oh, nice.
So if you go to an Unexpected Podcast Facebook page, should be one of the liked pages that we have on the right hand side that you guys can click on there. So yeah, we're taking off with Goldberry.
Yep.
Our Lucy, know,
that's right.
And we are into. Well, we're starting in we're going chronological.
Yep.
In order, we just kind of shared our Narnia stories.
Mm-hmm.
Just the. Just the tip. And that podcast we're trying to be really, it's much more, it's very much kid friendly.
Yeah.
It's very much something that we want your kids and, hopefully my future kids are able to listen to, and even like our students can listen to it and dive into.
Sort of an all ages podcast.
Well, with Goldberry on there, she keeps us.
I know.
God, she's awesome.
Keeping us straight. She's amazing. And we're kind of I've never read the books all the way through. Ezra and Goldberry have read more than me. Actually, they've read 2: Magician's Nephew and Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Is that right?
Yeah.
So it really is. We're entering into Narnia. I mean, we know the stories from the radio dramas, from the films that have been released,
and the old TV show.
Yeah. The BBC production, but really, we're entering into that world as children. We've been talking about it for a while, and we just felt this sudden pull. But all this getting it out there, guys, has been like within the last week. We just felt it's time. I told Ez, I said, I told Goldberry, I need more Aslan in my life. I need the lion. Well, so we're gonna just dig in and we're gonna get at it.
You said that you felt a pull, and I've been feeling this energy again, from the group and from everyone else, and it's sort of like, with the addition of a studio and us just taking this up a notch, it's sort of like we can do that now, and it seems to be the right time to get it going.
Yeah. And I know what you're thinking, guys. 2.5 hour podcasts a week. Not sure I can keep up with that.
I know, but,
we couldn't either. So we're going to aim Further Up is going to
between an hour and an hour and a half.
We're going to shoot for I want to keep it to 45 minutes to an hour.
That's fine too.
So hour and a half.
I doubt it would ever go over an hour and a half.
No, we'll keep it short because the chapters are shorter for one, and we're really going to focus on the book, sharing your Lewis stories. So, the Lamppost Letterbox.
Yep.
And also the show news, because there's show movie stuff coming out on Netflix, both films and series. So we're going to focus on that. So
But by the way, if you're kind of like, oh, here we go, Lane and Ez are taking. There's not a lot of love given for Narnia. And especially in the podcasting world, there are literally, I think, just a couple other podcasts out there. We didn't even look
they were
before.
Kind of focused on the show, right? Or the movies, sorry.
One was focused on the show primarily, been around for just a little while. And then one is brand new, kind of like us, and starting. It's neat because we're doing chronological, and they are actually doing the way in which they were published.
Cool.
So there's a great debate on how you should read them, and I think it depends on your audience, your intent. You know, like we're doing kind of this innocent,
wonder.
exploration of Narnia. So. Yeah, that's something to check out. It'll be a lot of fun, and just kind of stay tuned. Well, this is we won't, we'll mention it maybe at the end of the show here and there, just to kind of remind folks that we're doing it.
Yep.
But we want it to be just as positive, and
just think of what you all have helped us accomplish together through the world of Middle Earth. We can do that in Narnia too. Yeah. So that's really exciting, and we'll learn so much from you guys as we have here, because we're children. We're going into it brand new. Yeah. Like we said, familiar
Vulnerable.
with it, but never having read, and that's how we're going to play it too. We're gonna, take it a chapter at a time.
Right.
We're not going to make connections to stuff coming up because, we don't know how to do that yet. So
yeah,
I'm sure some
Lane has actually stopped me. He is, because I'm going to read the whole series.
I said no
tomorrow, and then he was like, no, do not.
I want to experience it step for step together if we can. So
no, we will. We will.
All right.
We will.
All right, let's go into Dropping Eves. We got some Amazon show news, actually. So it seems like that whole rumor that PJ will be involved in a background capacity is kind of gaining some steam. I've heard that mentioned and seen that in a few different articles, that he's going to help kind of review the script and look at the direction that Payne and McKay are headed. So interesting. I wonder if that'll grow into a bigger role. We've all talked about that. Majority of us say, let's put it into new hands. Let's make sort of a cut from the films, and let's move on a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Not really sure. But he will help review sort of the direction, I guess, it's going in. The biggest thing that I've found recently is that there's kind of a bit of a conflict as to whether they're going to be able to film in New Zealand again.
I just saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's an article on stuff.co.nz, which just says plans to film $1 billion Lord of the Rings television series in New Zealand under threat. So this was released on December 23rd. Of course, theonering.net also has an article covering it as well, just sort of summarizing it. They do a good job of summarizing. Pretty much the gist of it is they want to film in New Zealand. Okay? Obviously, they want to. Why would you want to go scout new locations when there's stuff already there that we recognize, that's put in place, that they could just go plop down and shoot in? That is 90% of the work, is all that background. Finding a spot, building sets, planning how to shoot it. If it's already there, why reinvent the wheel, kind of a thing. The big problem is they're going to have to, because of the Avatar trilogy starting back up, they're making I think a total of 5 films or something ridiculous.
Seriously?
Yeah. They're filming out of Wellington.
Oh, wow.
So all of Peter Jackson's Wellywood Studios and all that, pre-production, post-production, all that stuff is going to be using up all that space, all those resources, all that energy.
Yeah.
So they're talking about trying to make something work in Auckland, which is the biggest city in New Zealand. It's up north. That's where I spent my time, in Auckland. But that means building a lot of stuff from scratch. But there's also talk, could they do studio filming and post-production in England, and then or somewhere else in the world, and film in New Zealand for some of those locations that are already, thinking the Shire, thinking of more memorable places like Rivendell, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or does this mean they're going to make a clean break all the way? Could they film in British Columbia? Could they film in Northern Ireland? Could they move to Slovenia? Some of those other countries around the world that have similar looks, where they could achieve the same kind of Middle Earth feel. So, not really sure what's going to happen yet. I think it said within the next month they'll have to decide one way or the other, though, because they got to get rolling on some stuff.
Wow.
So, end of January, we'll kind of have an idea of whether it's going to return. The show will return to New Zealand, or if it's going to pick a different area. What do you think, Ez? You have a feeling either way?
Well, I don't know if this is the same article, but wasn't there some the debate was over the money too, wasn't it? Like a difference between a certain amount of money, I thought, as well. Not even just
maybe.
I think there was something with the government, and I kind of got involved as to how much it was going to cost. Amazon was talking with them just about like it seemed to come down to dollars also, like on top of everything you mentioned as well. So it wasn't looking real great there. It seemed like for according to, and I can't remember if it was this article or somewhere else that I saw.
Is
that
it the one the stuff.co.
I don't think it was that one.
I'm seeing a lot of studio capacity shortage. I'm not seeing anything with money, but that might also be part of it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're trying to iron out all the details, all the kinks, and get it all figured out before they get rolling. But how do you feel about it not filming in New Zealand, potentially?
I mean,
does it matter?
Well, it depends on where we're going to go in Middle-earth.
If it's about Aragorn, we won't necessarily be heading to the Shire.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like where are we going to be in Middle-earth?
Right.
Could we build those various... Are we going to be with... we're going to be Rohan. We're going to what kingdom are we going to be in? You know,
that's a good point. Yeah,
and then from there, I think you could kind of decide what you want to do.
Yeah,
and also here's the thing, man. Depending on what age they decide to do,
I know.
like everything, the world changes.
Yeah,
it actually shifts and stuff. So if they wanted to do something a little different, they could.
Yeah,
they could go to a different location. If you want to do anything with the Hobbits, I think it is kind of cool if you can keep that continuity. That would be neat. So just gotta be careful on what locations you're planning to film.
I'm kind of open to something totally different.
Yeah,
I mean, if they want to,
even Hobbiton, if they went to if
they want to go somewhere different, if they want
that would be
a different country to go kind of make a new, I don't know, like Mecca for New Zealand or for Middle Earth travel. I mean, I'm open to whatever at this point. I just want to get something out there.
Yeah,
I'm anxious for 2021. When we actually get to watch something.
Yeah, me too.
I'm ready for it. Because there's how many beautiful places in the world. How many places do you look around and you're like, that kind of reminds me of... I've been back here and I've thought that looks like New Zealand.
Well, I think in another year, 2020, so we're in 2019 now, right? We'll be talking about trailers.
I know.
We'll be talking about teasers.
Photos that are leaked from sets.
Yeah.
I
so
know,
that is pretty exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Maybe having some interviews. You never know.
Oh, I plan on it.
The Tolkien biopic, still no official release date, but remember, guys, I said within 4 months. I'm good. My word is my bond. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he said that 5 months ago.
In other corners of Middle Earth, the Billy Boyd World Tour rolls on.
Yep.
He is with Susie right now.
Yep.
Susie Millhouse, and shared some of her pictures on the old Twitter, and Billy Boyd himself retweeted those guys. So Billy is tracking that. He's following where he's going, and it's pretty cool that we've been able to keep that rolling all because of you guys. It's a beautiful thing.
If you guys have a chance to follow Billy on Instagram, Twitter,
he's hilarious.
He's kind of funny. He did some dad post about snow. I just recently saw.
Oh yeah, that was like today.
Yeah, was that today?
Yeah, I think
so. It was something like, if it keeps snowing like this, we'll have a white Christmas in 360 whatever days. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh,
that's hilarious.
That's cool.
We got some poll results from last time we met. Geez, back in book 3.
Yeah,
the book 3. If given the chance and itchy palms, would you look in a Palantir? 152 votes, pretty sizable sample there. 41% of you said yes. 59% said, nah, I'm good. What'd you say, man?
I don't remember what I said,
I don't
but
either.
On the spot now, I'm actually thinking this through a little bit more, and I'm thinking, yeah, I probably would.
I think Kurt was the one who said, I'd like to think that I wouldn't, but I probably would.
But what's wrong with looking at it?
Well, if you can control your gaze, then nothing, man.
If I have no secrets to tell, if there's nothing the enemy can get from me,
I mean, our king looks in the Palantir and tells Sauron what's coming.
Why can't I Palantine somebody? You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like across the Middle Earth.
Palantine.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, what if Apple releases its next new phone and it's called the Palantir?
You guys
That'd
heard
be
it
sick.
here. I want some.
Can we make an app? The Palantir?
That'd be kind of cool.
Like a 4D transportation?
I bet we couldn't.
Yeah, we can't. Well, someone could.
We're still trying to make a podcast, so like.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, hey, I think we're into the reread here, my man. Breaking into a new book. We're going back in time a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
So I feel like we're probably going to be sort of feeling our way through Em and Muil, just like our two buddies here.
We are.
And like there's a footpad on right behind us.
this is. I will be full disclosure with you guys. So
that's the way we like it.
Can't believe I'm going to say this.
Say it.
And I'm hoping my mind has changed. But the book that we just finished was probably one of my favorites. I mean, I really enjoyed.
Great book.
I really enjoyed both the books in the Fellowship, but the past one was just. I mean, it really tickled my fancy.
Absolutely.
And this, like, I don't know. I love Frodo and Sam. Like,
whoa, what are you about to say right now?
Up to this point, I know. I am just.
The flannel wizard speaks.
I know, man. I can't believe I'm even saying it. You guys are like, you guys are like,
get him off there.
As we're done. Stop talking. But
it's a different pace, though. I see what you're saying. It's different,
and it picks up. So it's really just this first little this getting into it, and it's.
Is it also because we're going from a huge group to 3 individuals?
Yeah. And so there's a lot of dialogue.
More characters.
There's a lot of that back and forth. Describing of the land. We go back to kind of explaining this new territory that we're in, and it's a lot. So but first let's recap though. Yeah. Last time when we were with Frodo and Sam, Boromir tried to take the ring.
Yep.
All right. So he was tempted. He redeemed himself.
Yeah.
He sat down to rest.
Yeah.
And he's passed on.
Yeah.
But Frodo takes off. He makes the right choice. He knows that he has to kind of go on his own. We're over near Amon Hen. And Sam, had hesitated when taking off with Strider.
Yeah.
Into to fight the orcs, the Uruk-hai. Well, we didn't know that at the time, but and he doubles back. Yeah. And he thinks about possibly
goes with his gut, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And he finds,
and that comes up in this chapter, man. Samwise's gut.
Yeah.
Ah.
Quit getting me fired up for this chapter.
Sorry, man.
I just told everybody else.
I'm thinking about we were just hanging with the Shire rats, and they were all 3, Jen, Susie, and Erica, very excited that we're going, especially Susie, that we're getting back with, our 2 hobbits.
Well,
especially Samwise.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's exciting,
especially Samwise. So that's where, for right now, I'm really with you on that.
Never mind.
But we're going to see, because here's the thing. It has been a long time. This is one of the sections of, like, I remember Return of the King very well. Mm-hmm. I remember Fellowship really well.
Gone, Bury, Gone.
2 Towers. Yeah. I remember the first book in 2 Towers. This is one I'm really
struggling with,
fuzzy on.
That's okay.
It's been a long time.
And you know why that's okay? Because there are certain parts of a book you remember better than others.
Oh God, yeah.
And here's the other thing too. Once again, it mirrors what we're going through.
Yeah.
Frodo and Sam don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
They don't know where they're going. They have to trust in this character who they don't find very trustworthy to lead them through these uncharted territories for them.
Right.
And either it ends up exactly how it's supposed to, or you could say, a lot of unfortunate things happen and they're lucky. They're lucky to accomplish their goal. Did you just turn that up?
Yeah.
Guys, okay.
What?
Just to break with reality real quick.
What's wrong?
I have been playing sound clips since, middle of book 1. I have never seen Ezra turn one of those sound effects up. It's only ever been down, and I'm flattered. He's digging this soundscape so much. The windy Emyn Muil with the crows in the background.
Yeah.
That he turned it up. Let the record show.
That is rare. That is rare that I see that.
I feel honored. Thank you, man.
I was hoping you wouldn't notice.
So anyway.
So yeah.
Last time,
yeah. But no, Sam jumps in with Frodo. He tries to swim. Frodo saves him, and they kind of shove off there, and they're headed to destroy the ring. They have a nice little moment where, I love how it's done in the film too, with the whole, Gandalf's instructions to him.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
No, I'm coming with you.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. So. Pretty neat. Now, do you want to summarize the chapter for us today?
Dive into the
details here.
Yeah, let me get in here. So, obviously, we've just been with our hunters. Gandalf came back. Merry and Pippin, Treebeard, the destruction of Isengard. Well, we're jumping back in time now. Okay, this is 3 days after we left the Anduin. When Frodo and Sam left and broke away, we're joining back in with them on the 3rd day. And they're stuck. They're wandering the Emyn Muil. They are trying to make their way to Mordor, but they keep getting lost, retracing their steps. They can see a way down, but they just can't get there.
Yeah.
Which is even more frustrating. I think at one point Sam says, just the one place in the world we don't want to see get any closer, just where we're trying to get to, just where we can't get.
Yep.
Anyway, they're surviving on old lembas cakes. They're craving their comfort foods, a pint of beer and just a big old chunk of bread. And they're really hoping that they've lost Gollum. It's been a while since they've caught any kind of trace of him, but there's something in their gut that's telling them he's probably still here. So it's just treacherous terrain, too rocky and hard. And they know that they can't turn back.
Yeah.
They know that the orcs are on the eastern shore as
That's
well.
right. Yes.
And if they doubled back, they would run into them and be caught and captured probably captured, not killed. So they have this whole bit where they're trying to get down this cliff and slipping and falling. They get there. There's some magical rope that comes into play with Lothlorien. And, as they're sitting there and huddled in the cold, they see someone approaching them. A little insect-like creature over on a rock face climbing down. And that, of course, is Gollum. And there's an encounter there. And we'll get into the details.
We'll get into that. Yeah,
that's right.
Well, I think Sam articulates it best when he starts off. He says, "Well, Master, we're in a fix. No mistake.
No mistake.
No mistake." Right. He stood despondently with hunched shoulders beside Frodo, peered out with puckered eyes into the gloom.
What a great way to get us back into it too. Just that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
just had a huge conflict resolved. Now we're going back, and it's like, whoa.
What's going on?
We're in trouble.
Yeah,
we're in trouble.
Yeah, and so kind of as we said here, it's been what you said 3 days, right, since they'd fled the company, and they're headed steadily eastward, right, keeping as near as they could to the outer edge of this strange, twisted knot of hills.
Yeah.
But always they found its outward faces sheer and high and impassable, and so this is the bit where they struggle to move beyond this barrier, and we're going to have to get, bold. We're going to have to do a little, I don't know if Hobbits fans of heights. Remember they were really not a fan of them back in Lothlorien, right?
Right. No.
They were not sleeping.
It's also hard for me to envision. I've never been in a place like this. I've never been in like a craggy, sheer rock strewn area where there's like, I've always been able to get to where I need to go. Yeah. So this takes a lot of imagining for me. Like this would be really, I can't imagine how frustrating it would be too. A big old labyrinth where you can't get to where you're trying to get to. So it's kind of foreign. I really have to use my imagination. Most places here in Ohio, if you want to get to a certain point, there's a way to get there.
Yeah.
It's not like there's just these sheer cliff faces everywhere. So, we find them just and feel like they're waiting in a trap, especially with the idea that Gollum's around, and they've seen how clever he is, how good he is at following. They haven't been able to evade him in the past. So also the fact that he's gone a little silent too has to make them, I don't know, sort of unnerved, I would think.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure. Well, the whole, let's just real quickly here. Tolkien kind of really sets a scene
he does.
in this next little paragraph here. He says, "The Hobbit stood now on the brink of a tall cliff, bare and bleak, its feet wrapped in mist, and beyond them rose the broken highlands crowned with drifting cloud. A chill wind blew from the east." Oh, there you go. Night was gathering over the shapeless lands before them. The sickly green of them was fading. So this, things are turning to it's almost like death.
Yeah.
Yep. Kind of creeping, or life is fading, right? Far away to the right of the Anduin that had gleamed fitfully in the sun breaks during the day, now was hidden in the shadow. And they also talk about this bit where they do not look back to the river, back to Gondor, to their friends. They can't.
Yeah.
There's no either. They have to press forward.
Yeah. So. It would be useless to do that. So interesting. You mentioned the wind blowing from the east, and I went ahead and counted it. There's 3 mentions of it.
Really?
3 mentions of it in the next couple of pages. And again, just that idea that we're going to the east. That's where the death is. That's where the destruction is. We're going right into that. And that east wind, wasn't that mentioned previously? The east wind, right?
Yeah, we were talking about it.
That's right. Okay, so I thought so.
It was something. Yeah, I'll have to look at it.
Can't remember what.
Gondor, and we were talking about when they were singing the song, the tribute to Boromir.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You left the east wind for me.
Yeah,
that's what Gimli said. And there's what am I supposed to say good about the east wind?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we've got that mention again, and just the idea that what's coming from the east is it's fell. It's foul. It's not what we want to be dealing with. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sam goes on for a bit here, though, just kind of muttering and talking under his breath about Mordor, and this is the line that you had brought up, is that like it's the one place we want to that we need to get to, but we just we've heard that we shouldn't go to, but it's the place we're trying to get to, and we can't get there.
Yeah.
And it's which is such a conundrum, right? It's like we shouldn't be going there. We're trying to, and we can't get there. And we're frustrated.
Right.
That doesn't
ironic.
make sense.
I know. And they can start to see it now, too. That's the other thing, too. They can see it on the horizon, a dark line, like distant mountains of motionless smoke every now and again, a tiny red gleam far away, flickered upwards on the rim of earth and sky. So being able to visually see Mordor, too. Man, just right in your face. Impending doom.
Absolutely.
And then causing even more frustration.
Well, yeah, they actually have a little back and forth here, just as to like, do we press on? What do we do here? Because Frodo kind of says,
"Hey, can you smell it?"
Yeah, can you smell it? Yeah,
I can smell it.
Smell what? I smell the island. That's for sure.
I smell what the rocks are cooking.
Ah, okay, all right.
And Emmanuel.
Good grief.
That's rocky.
Yeah. They talk about finding the path, trying to find a way out of here, and Sam goes on to say, like, well, actually, I think it's Frodo recommending, like, maybe another day we'll bring that about to us. Like we have to just kind of keep going. Mm-hmm. And then Sam's just like, or another. He just doesn't see an end to. Mm-hmm. He can't find a way out of this fix.
Yeah.
And Frodo says, I wonder. It's my doom. I think to go to the shadow yonder, so that a way will be found.
Yeah.
So that a way will be found. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry. I just get like caught up in some of this. So that a way will be found. It's my doom, I think, to go to that shadow yonder, so that a way will be found. Yeah. But will good or evil show it to me? What hope we had was in speed. Delay plays into the enemy's hand, and here I am delayed. It is the will of the Dark Tower that steers. Is it the will of the Dark Tower that steers us? Mm-hmm. And so they're he's contemplating what forces are at work here.
And that next line too, he says, "All my choices have proved ill." Who does that make us think of? Yes, almost around the same time, Aragorn had that same feeling. Well, actually, it was more like the day that he left. But remember that line. He says, "All my decisions have gone amiss. All my choices have been wrong." And so it's interesting that the leader of the hunters and the ring bearer himself, we talk about the parallels, but there are a lot of parallels between Aragorn and Frodo. They're similar in character, I think. And so even this feeling of, and they're both leaders, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Frodo is leading this quest.
Yeah.
Aragorn has one of the biggest leadership roles in Middle Earth to unite men against the darkness. And so it's interesting that they're feeling very similar in different situations, but feeling like, hey, all my decisions are going wrong. Also kind of parallels what Gandalf has said in the past too. Saying that all our hope was in speed.
Yeah.
And
the secrecy too.
Yeah, and just that idea of timing, right? The timing is interesting too.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, babe. Go ahead.
So we were talking about Saruman's powers.
Yeah.
And how we weren't supposed to
I don't like that guy.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to listen to him and his words. We had to kind of be careful, right?
Yeah.
Sauron, though.
Yeah.
What power, how far does his power reach? What force is working against them here? Because, the Uruk-hai were given speed across Rohan. Mm-hmm. And I believe that was again, that's all Saruman's influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, is there something that Aragorn faced that Frodo is facing now that is causing them to feel this type of despair? You know, because I mean, I know it's just that, like,
well,
that
how deep do you
want to
get? How deep do you want to get?
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm thinking the ring itself.
Okay.
I'm thinking the influence of the ring itself.
Forgot it was there.
Isn't it crazy? And probably so did Frodo.
And
I'm thinking
it's some of it's
even this chapter we start to see a little bit of division. I don't know, division might not be the right word, but a little bit of a splinter between Frodo and Sam.
Okay, yeah.
In their own interactions, and then even later on with the introduction of Gollum.
Yeah.
And then also, I think even Gollum's presence, right? He was let loose by Mordor. He knows about Baggins, knows about the ring. He's been pursuing them, and he also is driven by a love of the ring, which is partially the power of Sauron. I don't know, man, because he's not as direct. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think Saruman was kind of more blunt, right? Force,
right.
Trying to persuade with his words, obviously, but like Sauron's hard to decipher, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I'd like to go do a little bit more digging just on what his power, his influence, like.
But then he sends weather. There's weather up here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's
true.
true.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The dude is.
So
I don't know. That's what makes him so scary to me.
It's a combination of this thing. That despair that's setting in. It can happen naturally. It can, as you say, the ring, which is an extension of Sauron. You know, so there's that. But so now, Sam gets him back on track. Frodo is asking about food. They want to know, what they have left, and literally, it's lambus bread.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yummy.
Thankfully.
Yeah,
we had some good snacks the other day at the.
Those potato chip cookies, man. If that was lembas bread, I'd be fine.
Absolutely, me too.
I'd be 400 pounds, but I'd be fine.
Yeah, I'd be set.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
So, anyways,
and who is Sam's kind of? He's longing for that bread and beer.
Oh,
right?
A mug of beer, yeah.
And he's kind of lamenting the fact that he's got nothing. He's got all this cooking gear, and not even a blade of grass to cook.
No, it's
nothing.
It's crazy. Isn't it?
It's kind of ironic, and we see later on that he finally does get something to cook. Some rabbit eventually.
Oh yeah.
And then also this is kind of ironic because he's talking about, later on he has to get rid of this because it just becomes too much of a burden, and they're later on in the journey he's got to just leave, get rid of it.
It's crazy.
Isn't it?
It is crazy.
It's almost like I wonder if he's thinking about it right now. I wonder if he's thinking, I've got nothing to cook anyway. Let's just get rid of it.
Well,
or what? What do you think?
Their goal is speed.
Yeah.
So. That would be nice to strike quickly.
Yeah, pots and pans on your back don't help with that.
Before things get really churned up.
Right.
So, so after that they talk about, lambus bread. Then they kind of move on to Gollum and basically, have you heard him? He's been following us.
Yeah.
Sam is super, upset by his presence. He says, "I hope that's the way of it. I wish we could be rid of him for good."
Yeah. Talks about the eyes.
Yeah, seeing those eyes
creeping him out.
Yeah, they kept looking back and seeing his eyes. And remember, he's been following them since way back in the Fellowship. I mean, where did we notice his presence going into Lothlorien?
Yeah. Dude, just the it was, and just even or was it even?
I didn't before that.
I think Gandalf said something around Moria.
Oh,
right?
It was Moria.
Yeah,
Gosh, it was Moria.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. Don't say that about my flannel wizard.
Yeah, don't you dare.
So the eyes of Gollum are what's haunting Sam, and then we read a little bit further, and it's a different eye that's haunting Frodo. Right.
That's right.
He talks about the. He says, "I wish we could get away from these hills. I hate them. I feel all naked on the east side, stuck up here with nothing but the dead flats between me and the shadow yonder. There's an eye in it. Come on, we've got to get down today somehow." So just also the irony of, usually you think you're up on a high place, you're kind of protected, you can kind of see over other stuff, but not when there's this evil place yonder with the feel of an eye. So I just thought it was kind of interesting too, like, they're both haunted by different eyes.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool.
Which is Well,
if you're reading through the first time, you start to from Pippin's sort of encounter in the Palantir, right? You start to understand what this eye is.
Yeah.
You know.
It's interesting too because I mean, in the film we get a picture of it earlier.
Yeah, we know what it is.
Yeah, and in here it's kind of like more hinted at and alluded to. It's not.
It evolves.
Yeah,
which is
pretty cool.
Awesome.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so let's see. But the day wore on, and this is where we get into some. Again, they're just more description of.
Yeah, get your compass out.
The rocks, they're halting, they're stopping, they're looking around, trying to find their way. Nothing but the wind sighed over the edges of the stones. Yet even that reminded them of breath softly hissing through sharp teeth.
And you got to be thinking, right? Is that cloaking Sméagol, Gollum's breathing?
Sure.
Right,
Yeah,
his movements. Right. You're envisioning that breathing coming through with the wind. You're
is
like,
that Chase? Where are they? Like, Chase
McKinney?
show up in here somewhere?
Andy Serkis, you over there? So, just a creepy place. And then we hear a bird there, so that's an inaccurate. This was recorded at Emyn
That's fantastic.
But it's inaccurate.
It's inaccurate.
Soundscapes nowadays, guys. You can't
Terrible.
trust YouTube.
Terrible. Well, maybe Guahir's,
keeping an eye out
or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
So again, they come to this ridge that took a sharp bend northward, and it was gashed by deeper ravine.
Yeah.
And it's a great description. I think that actually the film does a good job too of kind of showing us what they're facing.
Yeah.
They have to get down it's almost like this sheer cliff face.
Yeah.
And
treacherous.
I imagine them like rappelling backwards. Like first they talk about like how
trying
far
to jump, right?
How far the jump is going to be. I'm like, well, here we go. Special Hobbit powers again.
Yeah, right.
Because I believe in them. That hide and go seek team, man. I'm telling you, like, they would stomp the elves.
Guys, and I've said it before. I know I'm probably wrong, but there's definitely an elf that got mixed in
something
way back there.
Yeah,
or fairy, I think. Wasn't that the old Took had a fairy wife or something?
Yeah.
I just want to,
sure it is.
It's there, guys.
It's there. But so they have to get down this sort of ravine, and they talk about it. Sam doesn't want to do it, but he's going first. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that what he said? Doesn't he want to go first?
Yeah.
But then it was like, what was the thing? If he went second, he would have fallen on him. What was the?
Yeah, that I think so.
So you go first. I can't remember how that went down. It's kind of funny. So they talk about being a nasty bit of a drop. Sam says the cleft was longer and deeper than it seemed. Some way down, they found a few gnarled and stunted trees, the first they had seen for days. And you kind of forget that there are, little clumps of trees here and there. Yep. Twisted birch for the most part, with here and there a fir tree. So many were dead and gaunt, bitten to the core by the eastern wind, as you had said.
Yep, that's the third mention.
Bitten to the core.
Yeah.
So that's he's so good.
I know he is.
He's so.
I know.
Gosh, man, he's so good.
I know. I mean, I know. It's okay. So to break from this, just for a second, to break from the story, because I was telling you how I went back and I started reading through, because I'm like, you know what, I need to read more. Okay, I need to read more, and I was like, there's so many different things to study, right? You study his other works that inform Lord of the Rings. You study him as an author. You study his time in World War I. All that stuff. But I went back and I read a little bit of that Author of the Century by Shippey, and it was amazing. There, just the notes of when he was going through and writing these stories. He really, his first run through, he did not know what was coming next. I was telling you about at one point he wasn't sure how he was going to align the Rohirrim, the people of Rohan, that they were going to be, spies and associated with Sauron. Then it's just amazing to think that he really didn't know where he was going at first. Was able to try a few different things, saw what worked, saw what didn't, and then was able to go back and just layer and put all these details. I mean, the dude, you're right, a master, an absolute master.
Yeah, it just, every time I see something, any bit of just the various devices that he uses, I'm just like, gosh, there it is. It just sneaks in there, and you don't even realize it's happening, and it's like, So yeah, as we had said, they're looking at this jump they want to make. They say, I believe it's 18 fathoms.
36 yards.
36 yards.
Yeah.
Radical. So a fathom is 6 feet is what this says. I just looked it up. And it's typically used in reference to the depth of water. Mm-hmm. I just literally Googled it, which is pretty neat. So yeah, they're talking about this jump that they would possibly make, and I'm just like, you guys are don't do it. I'm sitting over. Don't. Yeah. Please. You're gonna break a leg. Yeah. And there's literally no wizard there to,
Right. Not even the flannel one.
Nothing.
I know.
So what happened? So here. What's this? When do they get to the rope? When are they pulling out the rope and trying to back down this tree? Let's this cliffside here. So the smoke blur of the mountains in the east was lost in a deeper blackness that was already reaching out westward with long arms. There was a distant mutter of thunder borne to the rising breeze. That's right, as first the storm comes, right?
That's right.
They have all that downpouring of rain. This is where you said the attack, comes from Mordor.
Yeah.
On them.
Yeah.
So, and it's a downpour, isn't it?
Yeah. Frodo sniffed the air, looked up doubtfully at the sky. Well, I think actually they see it coming on. They know they got to go now.
Yeah.
I think it kind of hastens them, which is funny. They're talking about using speed, but at the same time, like, remember we talked about that. Whoever's hand is forced is going to lose. Yeah. And we talk about over the story, it's because the forces of good force Sauron's hand before he's ready. That leads to his destruction.
Yeah.
But he's trying to do the same thing here.
Sure.
To our hobbits. Whether he realizes that or not, he's sending this storm, which is trying to hasten them. Yeah. And if they go too quick, they're going to fall and die.
Well, it's stirring them up.
Going to find the right. Yeah. Right.
It's shaking the bushes and seeing what comes out. Yeah. Be careful when you do that.
That's right. So Frodo sniffed the air and looked up doubtfully at the sky. He strapped his belt outside his cloak and tightened it and settled his light pack on his back. Then he stepped forward towards the edge. I'm going to try it, he said. And we get lost, too, because we love Sam. Because Sam's pure and good. Yeah. We get lost and forget how great of a character Frodo is. I think that's one of the biggest tragedies of Lord of the Rings, is we forget just how strong Frodo is. I mean, he's carrying that ring on his neck all the time.
Yeah, that's
and he's still brave, and he still makes those choices to take those steps towards doom.
I think that's one of the neat things is that you actually forget that it's there. Yeah. Sometimes, and then all of a sudden it comes out, and you're like, "Whoa, he's been carrying that burden." A
long time. And who else has carried it that long without being corrupted?
Yeah, it's a long time.
Fully. Yeah. He's a resilient hobbit, and he should be praised for that. So, very good, said Sam gloomily. But I'm going first. You, said Frodo. What's made you change your mind about climbing? I haven't changed my mind, but it's only sense. Put the one lowest as is most likely to slip. I don't want to come down on top of you, is what you're talking about, and knock you off. No sense in killing two with one fall. Before Frodo could stop him, he sat down, swung his legs over the brink, and twisted around, scrambling with his toes for a foothold. It is doubtful if he ever did anything braver in cold blood or more unwise.
Yeah. Can you imagine that, though? He just sits down on the edge. He's got nothing. And he's literally just going to, by hand, free climb this thing.
He's bold, man. He's bold. No, Sam, you old ass, said Frodo. You'll kill yourself for certain, going back like that without even a look to see what to make for. Come back. He took Sam under the armpits and hauled him up again. So imagine Frodo just picking him up. Sam's a big hobbit, too.
Yeah.
Now wait a bit and be patient, he said. Then he lay on the ground, leaning out and looking down, but the light seemed to be fading quickly, although the sun had not yet set. I think we could manage this. So that storm's getting closer. Mm-hmm. I think we could manage this, he said presently. I could at any rate, and you could too, if you kept your head and followed me carefully. So they're just talking about how there's no place to put your hands and feet, and then all of a sudden, isn't this when he realizes that he's got the rope?
Actually, so they get...
Or do they try to climb down first?
There's 2 levels to this. So they go down...
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to remember is where is the...
Stuck in Eminem Wheel, man.
The breakup here. Yeah, exactly. Because you have that hurrying darkness, right? So now you've got this storm gathering. I think he does, as you said, tries to make a little bit of haste here. And he ends up... He swayed, slipped, and slithered downward with a wailing cry. He actually slips and falls.
Yeah.
A ways down. And Sam heard him and crawled with an effort to the edge. Master, master, he called, master. He heard no answer. He found he was shaking all over, but he gathered his breath and once again shouted, master. The wind seemed to blow his voice back into his throat. He doesn't hear anything for a bit. And then eventually we have an, all right, I'm here, but I can't see. He was calling with this weak voice.
He thinks he's like struck blind.
Yeah.
It's either the whatever is so dense there, or he lost his vision. Right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So he can't find a hold. He can't move. What can I do, Mr. Frodo? What can I do? There's not much. Why could not his master see? It's dim. So he's freaking out up there, which he would be. You don't know. He can't really even see necessarily down there. Frodo can't see at all, and he's just fallen. And they're right next to. They're again. It's like I imagine like a landing, and then you've got a sheer cliff face, and then another landing, and then another sheer cliff face. So that's what I'm kind of envisioning.
It's hard to envision, though, isn't it? I mean, it's hard to. Yeah.
So
there is a moment that was a little further back up that I wanted to point out because it is kind of easy to pass over.
What'd you get?
But it's right when I stopped reading. Climb back, I suppose, said Frodo. Easy said, objected Sam, but wait till morning and more light. No, not if I can help it, said Frodo with a sudden, strange vehemence. So just this like shot of anger and almost like insistence that's very interesting that we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen that kind of tension between Sam and Frodo. He says, I grudge every hour, every minute. I'm going down to try it out. Don't you follow till I come back or call. So what is that? Is that just Frodo saying, no, listen, I'm your master. This is how it's going to be. Or is that a rift starting to appear that the burden of the ring is kind of causing between he and Sam?
Wait a second. Can you read that again?
Yeah, sure. So I'll go back even another. I don't know how you can be so sure, said Sam. Why, you can't see to the bottom in this light. What if you comes to a place where there's nowhere to put your feet or your hands? Climb back, I suppose, said Frodo. Easy said, objected Sam. Better wait till morning and more light. No, not if I can help it, said Frodo with a sudden, strange vehemence. It's the fact that he said sudden strange to me.
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's because Sam was insisting to wait until the morning, the light.
Right.
Which is because Gollum, kind of we'll talk about that in a second. It's nuts. So okay. There's the discussion. Is there something forming between him and Sam because Sam wants to? He's okay. He's more comfortable in the light, and Frodo is less comfortable during the daylight. We think. Is it nighttime though?
No, it's day.
It's day now. So what's he saying there? He says when there's more light.
Sam wants to wait until the next day. Frodo wants to go now.
What's up with that? So he's not saying that it's like a difference between night and day because it's already daytime. Is it daytime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then
I just don't know. To me, I'm thinking, is that
why wait a whole day? What are they going to do?
Because it's getting darker. Because that storm's approaching and night is falling.
Maybe it's day going into night. It is because they have.
It is. Yeah.
It is because they have. Gollum comes up later and they end up staying there. So maybe it's like evening. Would you say?
Right. Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting because he hasn't talked to Sam that way yet. With that kind of sudden like almost anger. You know what I mean?
Let me sit up here.
And what Sam's doing, Sam's just looking out for his master. He doesn't want him because Frodo is really insistent on getting down now. I want to be out of the sight of Sauron. But Sam is thinking, this is kind of dangerous, man. We can't rush this. And Frodo has this break where he says, no, I'm going down. I don't care. And he says it. I just envision you remember in the films where he starts kind of snapping at Sam, and you're like, "This is like, what is going on here? It's the ring. It's the ring's influence, or
yes, the ring."
And then you're also talking about the dark. Maybe he doesn't feel as safe in the dark, but he doesn't feel safe during the day too. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
Hear me out. Ez likes to make a lot out of nothing. That's the Flannel Wizard's job.
I'm doing the same thing.
Okay, but it seems to me, and I just went back and read a little bit. When he says, waiting till there is, whether it's waiting till the storm passes and there's just more light, or if it's getting darker, let's wait till the next morning for light. I actually think it's that suggestion of light that irritates, whether it's a subconscious or whatever
Oh, okay.
the will is that's working, the magic that's working against Frodo, I think that gets flared up because of that.
Right.
I think. I don't know. That's something that seems to, and I don't know. I'm just trying to parallel it with like what Gollum kind of goes through in. Well, you know, I don't know.
Remember his wound too.
Yeah.
In the nighttime, it's not as safe of a time for him.
Yeah.
His Morgul wound. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things playing into that. I think we could we've kind of already blown that moment up a little bit.
I think I made a little bit of out of nothing, but I like trying to do it.
I think Tolkien's words there are, it's interesting. A sudden, strange vehemence.
Yeah.
So just this insistence, it happens all of a sudden, and it's different. Right. And we haven't seen that yet. So far, they've been pretty, like, they've listened to one another, they've worked together well, and this is like a moment of duress. They've been stuck, they've been... And Frodo's like, I'm done with it. I need to get out of sight of the, that eye that's I feel is I'm naked on top of this hill and it's piercing me every moment. I just thought it was interesting. That's all.
No, I think it's very interesting.
What I mean? There's a lot of forces going on in that moment, I think.
Yeah.
Because the one thing you don't want to happen is to have Frodo and Sam, their relationship to be strained. Because Sam keeps Frodo strong, and it's just maybe it's a little foreshadowing too, that there's going to be another character that sort of influences their relationship as well. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll
sorry.
We'll table it. Dude, I love it. That's what I'm saying. I love this.
It just stood out to me. I was like, I'm probably making more out of it than I need to, but it's interesting.
This is my job, okay? So there was another crack of thunder, and then the rain came in, and this blinding sheet mingled with hail. It drove against the cliff, bitter cold.
Yeah.
This is where Sam's like, I've had enough. I'm coming down.
Yep.
And Frodo says, no, wait. He called back more strongly now. I shall be better soon. I feel better already. Wait. You can't do anything without a rope.
This is where it hits him.
A rope. He says, he's just sort of like, how could he forget? Well, if I don't deserve to be hung on the end of one as a warning to numbskulls. It's like, well.
Not but a ninny hammer, Sam Gamgee. That's what the gaffer said to me often enough.
That's funny. Well, he had so much discussion, too, about rope before he got to Lothlorien and then thereon. And
wishing he had some rope. Right?
Not making and all this good stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Pretty
cool that it comes back into play here.
Yep.
And so they go back and forth just a bit, talking about his gaffer, never mind him. Yes, Mr. Frodo, in my pack. Carried it hundreds of miles, and I clean forgot it,
Yep.
Then get busy and let it end down. So quickly, Sam unslung his pack. He goes through it and pulls out the elven rope. Now, he got the... Didn't he nick this...
from the boat?
From the boats.
Yep.
Yeah. When he was getting everything ready to go,
right.
and Frodo was taking off.
That's right.
Yeah. Which is pretty neat.
Little thief.
Hey, he's a burglar. All right.
That's right, man.
Don't you call me a thief.
Startled's precious.
So yeah, he gets his rope out, and what's he do? He lets a little bit of it down. He stepped back, braced his feet against the stump, a yard or two from the edge, half hauled, half scrambled. Frodo came up, threw himself on the ground. Thunder again. This storm is kind of raging around them. They crawl back into this gully. They need to take a little bit of shelter. They're still wearing their elven cloaks, which is important to remember.
Yep.
And again, you think of Frodo brings it up here, but like the idea that you could have like a mudslide, or you could have some of this cliff face give way under this type of rain and weather.
Yeah,
you don't know how,
or even something fill up.
Yeah,
that's true. A pool fill. You know, you never know.
Because he talks about being half drowned.
Yeah,
right.
So drowned.
Not full drowned like his father.
That's right, man. Close enough.
What is wrong with you? Why would you even bring that up?
Hey, man, it happened.
It happened.
Yeah, and who was responsible for that? Was it Gollum?
I don't know.
I love that theory, dude. I love that theory.
But anyway.
I love it. Okay. Yeah, moving on. So Sam goes on here and talks about how he stole that rope. Not stole it. Stowed it in his pack, right? Frodo says, "Pity you didn't have another length to bring." How long is your rope, I wonder? So that's probably a question he gets asked a lot. 5, 10, 20, 30 L's, more or less, he said. Who'd have thought it? Frodo exclaimed. Ah, who would? Elves are wonderful folk. It looks a bit thin, but it's tough, and soft as milk to the hand. Packs close too, and as light as light. Wonderful folk, to be sure. So just a valuable object to have. And so they start figuring out, like what can they do with this rope? How long is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Is this where the let's see,
They hear a sound.
the sound, right? This is where black riders are back,
Yeah,
guys.
they are.
All right, and they're scarier than they ever were before. I mean, they've been kind of in this. We've encountered them indirectly. Well, even here, the idea that there's a sound that comes through the air. That they talk about. These riders are now flying. So they decide to kind of lay up in this crack until night's over. So, correct?
Yeah.
They stay there?
Did that shriek happen earlier and we missed it?
There was something.
There's so much going on, dude.
Dude, we're lost.
I think
we're lost.
I think that happened a little bit back, and he was recalling that.
Yeah, you're
that
right.
memory. Yeah.
I thought there was a shriek. Remember, I was reading and I actually thought. See, I jumped the gun on the storm. It wasn't the storm that I was hearing.
Here it is. Yep. It was during the lightning and stuff. The hobbits had just heard such a far... I'm sorry. Then came a blast of savage wind, and with it, mingling with its roar, there came a high, shrill shriek. The hobbits had heard just such a cry far away in the Marish as they fled from Hobbiton. And even there in the woods of the Shire, it had frozen their blood. Out here in the waste, its terror was far greater. It pierced them with cold blades of horror and despair, stopping heart and breath. So, sorry we missed that. That was like a page ago. Mm-hmm. And so you have this idea that this storm was coming from Mordor, and that, there were black riders amongst it. Maybe to scare out a couple.
Hey, man,
couple
maybe they
hobbits.
were bringing the storm. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they were bringing the storm.
Hey, maybe they were.
Stormbringer.
So...
yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
so they talk about that a little bit. Yep, saying it sounded like the Black Rider. But they can't fly. I'm thinking we best lay up in this crack till night's over.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And then Frodo's saying, I'm thinking that I won't spend a moment longer than I need, stuck up on this edge with the eyes of the dark country looking over the marshes. So again, just this conflict. They don't,
Well, and here's the thing.
Not seeing eye to eye.
I guess I was watching the films and some of the extended edition the other day. I even get a little jaded when just thinking back on.
I know.
I thought but in the way it's presented in the books, it's hinted at. This is one of those things that again kind of evolves the Nazgul and what is it that we're seeing over the Anduin, on the east side of the river. So
in the films, it's a big reveal at the marshes.
Yeah,
and we're seeing here like this is way more treacherous than we see in the films.
Sure,
like the fact that a black rider flew right over, they heard it shriek, and they're trying to figure out, well, that can't be, that can't be. They're not, they can't fly, right? So they're trying to piece that together.
Yeah. So Frodo gets his sight back.
Yeah,
able to see, right?
Yeah.
And this is where they decide to kind of take that rope. They marvel over the rope a little bit, don't they? They kind of as just the fact that they got it from the elves, and they talk about its length and the 18 fathoms, and it should do by Frodo's reckoning. And so they decide to, Sam, it's actually left to him to fasten it to a stump.
Yeah.
And so that way they can kind of rappel back down over this cliff face. And our friend Sam knows a bit about knot making,
Yeah, he does. Or does he?
He does.
Or does he?
He does. He knows how to tie the best knot that's ever been tied.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? I mean, so let's look at this. We'll take it just kind of piece by piece.
Knot by knot.
Knot by knot. So let's see. Reluctantly, he turned and prepared to go over the edge a second time. Right. So Sam said heavily. So Frodo get on first? I think. And then Sam goes down after him.
Yep.
Okay.
No, Sam went first.
Sam went first.
I'm down. Okay. His voice came up and clearly from below, but Frodo could not see him. His gray elven cloak had melted into the twilight.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So and then, so he follows, and when they get to the bottom, here's the bit of rope that they were so happy to have.
Yeah.
is tied way up over 18 fathoms.
Noodles.
You know?
Noodles. It's a new expletive from Sam. Noodles, my beautiful rope.
Golly.
Lost, man.
Yeah, it's a
Or was it?
Or was it? It's tough. So what's really happening here? You know?
Well, that was my question to you.
That's my question to you.
Okay.
Because I don't know that we're going to agree on this.
Was it elvish magic, or do his knots suck?
His knots definitely do not suck. They're good.
My question is, have we seen Sam tie a knot previously?
Okay, first of all, the fact that you even question Sam's knot tie, it's in the family, man. It's in the family.
They're gardeners. Do you tie knots when you garden?
He knows a lot of bit about... yeah, you do. String beans, man.
Because here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking knots have more to do with being on the boats.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't... Unless you're messing around out in Buckland, you're not real fond of boats, right? That's queer folk business.
Bean
Further
poles.
east you go... What?
Bean poles. String beans.
I thought you said meatballs.
You got...
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So how good do your knots have to be to tie up string beans?
What else do you tie in, knots? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, bud.
Okay, if you're lifting big bags of grain, and you're heave-hoeing and you've got a pulley system, you need to wrap that rope around. Let's say we got a big bag here.
Hey, Ez, wrapping a rope around a pulley? I don't see any knots, bud.
I ain't talking about that.
I don't see any knots.
I ain't talking about that. What I'm talking about here, say you got a bag, okay, and you take a rope, right, and you wrap it around.
Sure.
All right. And
this is the next poll, by the way.
Here's the thing. And then what you do is you tie a knot, okay, to make sure that, like, you can't just lay the rope around it.
Sure.
I guess you could, like, wrap hundreds of feet of rope around.
My question is...
Eventually, you do have to run that rope up over a pulley system. You could you have a little, get your, basic science.
But he's a gardener. He's not a farmer. Does he need that much seed to move sacks around with a pulley system?
Mulch and fertilizer.
That's a pretty good point.
You know what I'm talking about?
When you use a wheelbarrow, though?
Not to get it off of the
ferry.
The ferry. He's got to load it into a cart.
Is he doing that, or is there a guy who takes it to market
The
and then he
hobbits
buys
look like they are something like. I mean,
I think Sam uses composts as his own food,
probably
for soil.
He probably does,
and for fertilizer.
But
all right, don't you reckon?
He's also running errands for other folks. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So
here's the question, though: was it elven magic? Was it somehow Galadriel and the powers of Lothlorien infused into that rope, looking over them, watching over them, whatever? Or can he just really not tie knots as well as he thinks? I want your answer.
Magic.
Okay.
100%. I want your answer now.
I don't think... I love Sam, dude. Sam is a powerful creature.
Unreal.
Sam is powerful. But I'm going to go with Frodo on this one. I don't think his knots are as good as he thinks.
Are you kidding me? Rope making and knot making are in the family, so to speak.
Sure.
He says that in Lothlorien, doesn't he?
I do think he says that, but I don't know. I mean,
you're calling Sam a liar?
No. And then again, you do make rope out of old plants.
What are you trying to say? I mean, it's just that he's boasting, or that he just doesn't, maybe he's over.
So here's Sam's words. He did not laugh. After Frodo says, who tied the rope? A good thing it is held as long as it did. To think that I trusted all my weight to your knot. It's kind of nasty words from Frodo. Straight to it. Sam doesn't laugh. I may not be, and this really hurts Sam's feelings a lot. I may not be good much at climbing, Mr. Frodo, he said in injured tones. But I do know something about rope and about knots. It's in my family, as you might say. Like you said, Ez. Why, my granddad and my Uncle Andy after him, Andy Gamgee, him that was the gaffer's eldest brother, he had a rope walk over by Tyfield many a year. And I put as fast a hitch over the stump as anyone could have done in the Shire or out of it.
That's what he says.
Then the rope must have been broken, frayed on the rock edge, I expect. I bet it didn't, said Sam in an even more injured tone. He stooped and examined the ends. Nor it hasn't neither. Not a strand.
I don't think this is the last time the rope comes, we're going to see more of the rope.
That's true.
So
We do see more of the rope.
we'll see.
I'm still going to go with Frodo's initial reaction.
We'll
I think
continue.
maybe it wasn't
Well,
as
guys,
tied as tightly.
That's what he says. Have it your way. And actually, Sam eventually tells me, "Have it your way, Mr. Frodo." He actually tells him that he thinks it's not tied correctly. But I think the rope came off itself when I called. Okay.
Yeah.
He coiled it up and stowed it lovingly back in his back. He just gave it like a slight little nudge, like almost like a regretful, like, "Oh, that's too bad."
Right.
It's stuck there, and he kind of does like a little with his hand, and
Magic rope.
boom, comes off.
As Elijah Wood says. Real elven rope.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anyways, you guys let us know what you think on that. I mean, obviously, I take Sam at his word, and I, don't know why anybody would.
We see beautiful stars coming out, which is kind of perfectly placed because we just had this elven rope save us, and then again looking to the stars and the celestial connection with the elves and the moon, and they talk about the what does Sam say? They do cheer the heart, don't they? Elvish they are somehow. And the moon's growing. We haven't seen him for a night or two in this cloudy weather. He's beginning to give quite a light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, Sam, be careful about talking about the light in front of Mr. Frodo in the ring.
I know.
I'm on to something.
Yeah, I think you are, my friend.
I'm making stuff up.
No, I think there's definitely a connection there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, so anyways, they have to at any whoa, what is this? Wait a second.
Dude, are we stuck in Emmenmuil right now?
Hold on, man. Things keep jumping off of this page.
It's also 1 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa, one sec.
What do you see?
Let's see. They had not gone very far when they came upon a great fissure that yawned suddenly black before their feet. It was not wide, but it was too wide to jump across in the dim light. They thought they could hear water gurgling in its depths. It curved away on their left northward, back towards the hills, and so bared their road in that direction, at any rate while darkness lasted. Okay, never mind. Something did jump off the page, but it's not what I thought it was. It's not what I thought it is, that it should have been, that it was going to be, so whatever. Anyways.
Oh, shoot,
so that's sort of where they're headed. They end up finding a little cave in a place where they can kind of, a spot that they can kind of clear some stones away and make, lay down for the night.
And they're also kind of thinking like, if our little footpad's after us, we've laid quite a obstacle course for him.
Oh yeah.
We've gotten through some terrain, and he can try it. He can try to get through.
And he does.
He does.
He does. And actually, it's scary how well he is able to actually come over those sheer cliff faces without any rope, without anyone to help him or guide him. Yeah. And knows exactly. I mean, just he's something. So Gollum is tracking them. Well, Sméagol here is still on their trail. Let's see.
This is where they're sitting.
This is where they see him, right? I mean, this is where don't they watch him for a little while?
Yep.
As he's coming over that.
Yeah, they're worn out after walking through. They find a place to it says cast themselves on the ground under the lee of a boulder lying not far from the foot of the precipice. So they just kind of they're huddled up there and cold. It's night, but there's the moon was now high and clear. Thin white light lit up the faces of the rocks. So they got a good view of what's going on in front of them. Well, said Frodo, standing up and drawing his cloak more closely around him. You sleep for a bit, Sam. Take my blanket. I'll walk up and down on sentry for a while. Suddenly he stiffened, and stooping, he gripped Sam by the arm. What's that? He whispered. Look over there on the cliff. Sam looked and breathed in sharply through his teeth. He said, That's what it is. It's that Gollum. Snakes and adders. And to think that I thought that we'd puzzle him with our bit of a climb. Look at him. Like a nasty crawling spider on a wall. Some crazy foreshadowing there. But yeah, so just, so you have this image of him maneuvering as easily as a spider would.
Yeah, no problem.
What took them forever to get down.
It almost really got hurt,
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's just kind of Tolkien describes his movements. Down the face of a precipice, sheer and almost smooth, it seemed in the pale moonlight, a small black shape was moving with its thin limbs splayed out. Maybe its soft, clinging hands and toes were finding crevices and holes that no hobbit could have ever seen or used, but it looked as if it was just creeping down on sticky pads, like some large prowling thing of insect kind, and it was coming down head first, as if it was smelling its way. It's not forgetting the sniffing, that's for sure.
It's definitely not.
Now and again, it lifted its head slowly, turning it right back on its long, skinny neck, and the hobbits caught a glimpse of two small, pale, gleaming lights, its eyes that blinked at the moon for a moment and then were quickly lidded again. "Do you think he can see us?" said Sam. "I don't know," said Frodo quietly, "but I think not. It's hard even for friendly eyes to see these elven cloaks. I cannot see you in the shadow, even at a few paces. And I've heard that he doesn't like sun or moon." And Sam says, "Then why is he coming down?" Frodo surmises, "He can smell us, perhaps. And he can hear us. And he can hear as keen as elves."
Guys, here's the
How
thing.
creepy is this, dude?
Here's the thing. If
Let me hear
you
it.
have, there are a few things that we teach in this podcast. And
Don't forget it.
Don't forget, well, it's one of the most underutilized senses we have.
It is.
We
Yet
don't
the
use it enough.
strongest. Yet the strongest in memory, isn't it?
Yeah, but I
He
mean,
knows
it's
what
like,
hobbits smell like.
yes. And yeah, they're
You
also,
think he's forgotten the smell of Baggins? Probably not.
probably not. Well, and it's also like it's
a
such
bad
a
memory for
difference.
him.
It's such a like a stark difference between what's
The rock.
Yeah,
Well, think about
maybe
that, too.
the smells that are there.
Talking about smell being tied to memory.
Yeah,
Probably the most significant memory in his life, other than finding the ring, is losing the ring.
that's right.
And the smell tied to that is that old Baggins aftershave. You ever
Right.
smelt that?
It's
Ooh, it's like Brute, isn't it?
it's great.
And so he's got that smell in his mind. He's going, so he's going after that Baggins.
What? There was a smell. Yeah, there's been smelling throughout the whole thing.
yeah.
I'm done. Done. Moving on. Sorry.
Dude, I think we are the perfect Sam and Frodo right now. It might be driving people crazy. Uppers, we're sorry, but
Yeah,
it's just
sorry.
where we are right now. We feel stuck in Emmenmuil.
We're not getting out of here, guys.
Not alive, anyway. Not the both of us. How fast can you run?
You go on ahead, man. I'll lay here and play dead. Let me take a nap for a second. But imagine, this is kind of creepy, right? He doesn't know that they're watching him, and so he does kind of almost catches up on them too quick here, or what have you. I don't know. The moon came out and kind of helped the hobbits to see him, because
Yeah.
I think he might have been this close beforehand, but
The moon probably hurts his vision too, doesn't it? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe, and then also just the idea that like he had been cloaked by its absence,
Yep.
for a
Yep.
couple of days, and now Sam is mentioning, well, here it is, it's back out, and it's aiding the hobbits.
And also Frodo's saying, yeah, he doesn't like sun or moon. And he also does that weird thing where he looks up at the moon, blinks, and then closes his eyes again. So even that light hurts him.
Yeah,
doesn't
absolutely.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Almost kind of, isn't that crazy thing about the moonlight blinding someone? Like he's that sensitive to light. Well, he lived in a cave.
he lived
Underground.
under the mountains. I mean, literally,
Okay.
sorry, went too far,
Too deep.
too deep. So, anyways,
Oh, Mr. Frodo.
good.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So Sam's had enough, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
He wants to actually attack him
Yeah.
and kind of sneak up on him. And
kill him.
Frodo warns him, that he's more dangerous than he looks.
Yeah.
And so,
Cautious, my precious. Cautious. Indeed. More haste, less speed. We mustn't risk our neck. Must be precious. No, precious.
That's all I got, man. My throat's killing me.
dude, I could.
I also think maybe so people were wondering what the Gollum voice is going to be. So
Yeah.
Cautious, my precious. More haste, less speed. We mustn't risk our neck. Must we, precious? No, precious Gollum. Hey guys, it's Julian here,
Dude,
also known as Gollum.
Dude, I knew it. I knew all along that Julian would be
Julian
Gollum.
is Gollum.
It makes perfect sense.
I think so. I think
that makes
so.
perfect sense. I've
geez.
seen some of the photos.
Do you like my Gollum voice?
Yeah, I do. Actually, your actual Gollum voice. Yeah,
Is it precious to you?
it's really good. You and Chase are really really good at it. I like it.
Please make me my friend.
You do a better, happier, Sméagol, though. You're a good, happy.
Oh, did you see that, precious?
Well, sorry. Lane's throat is literally actually tearing up right now. Oh, gosh. It's ridiculous.
It's fun. Gollum is a fascinating character, man.
Yeah, he is. Well, what I was about to say
naked. Also naked.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the artwork.
Did you see that one that's kind of more classically?
Yes.
I've never seen that before. We need to post that to the group.
That freaked me out, actually. And I was like, oh, my gosh, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Excuse me, our wind changed there for a second.
Wow, it's an abrupt... Let me read. Hold on. It was in the book. An abrupt end to the wind. Okay. Word of command. It's back on.
It's back on.
All right. But yeah, we'll have to post that in the group because it is a trippy looking.
Yeah. It is, isn't it? Yeah.
So, Sam. So he tries to fight Gollum though.
Yeah.
Sneaks up on him, jumps him, and I gotta say, thank goodness Frodo was there.
No kidding, man.
With Sting.
Well, and so it's interesting to think about Sam's judgment. This character. Wow. That's 1:02 a.m. talking. Sam's judgment this chapter.
Yeah.
Right? He and even Frodo warns him. You have this interesting back and forth too, like one of them giving a suggestion and the other one not listening and it not working out. You know what I mean? Like they're not trusting each other right now, which is bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. But Frodo says, man, you don't, dude, this he's not to be messed with. Not to be messed with. And Sam goes, oh, I got him, Mr. Frodo. Don't worry. Like he underestimates the power of Gollum, and he finds it out real quick. And like you said, thank the Lord.
Yeah.
That Frodo's there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's honestly, it's frustrating almost to see this, Gollum creature who is like, there's nothing to him, and it just he's such a tough. I mean, the ring has given him power, and extended his life.
Oh yeah.
In such a way. So yeah, he continues to go on and talking those hissing, sharper kind of. Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
like that.
Where is it? Where is it? My
precious. Where's my precious?
Dude, that is such a good. A lot of people. I don't know.
It's okay.
Anyways.
Where's my precious? Huh?
No,
Where's
please.
it at?
No.
Julian?
No, we don't want that. So he's thieves, the dirty little thieves.
Yeah.
Where are they, my precious? Curse them. We hates them.
Yeah.
And just on and on and on.
We. First time we're kind of hearing this, like.
Yeah.
More than one, huh?
Disturbing.
Yeah.
Whispering to himself. Sam jumps him as I said. And Frodo kind of comes up and grabs Gollum around the neck and has his sword up to his throat.
Yep.
And he's begging for forgiveness. Well, and actually Frodo lets him know that this is Sting. You've seen him before, and kind of this reminder that that he and Bilbo, there's a connection between the two. He and Frodo, which is cool. I think
absolutely.
A cool connection back to the Hobbit, even in Two Towers.
Yep.
So, don't hurt us, precious. They won't hurt us, will they? Nice little hobbits. He's trying to pacify them a little bit, and they got in this conversation about pity. Doesn't Frodo have a reflection too?
He does.
About
we have time travel.
Yeah, with Gandalf.
Yeah, it seemed to Frodo then that he heard quite plainly, but far off, voices out of the past. And yes, where we have this jump back to that conversation back in Bag End. Mm-hmm. What a pity Bilbo did not stab the vile creature when he had a chance. Pity? It was pity that stayed his hand. Pity and mercy, not to strike without need. I do not feel any pity for Gollum. He deserves death. Deserves death? I dare say he does. Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them? Then do not be too eager to deal out death in the name of justice, fearing for your own safety. Even the wise cannot see all ends. And important here, because we know how this ends. Mm-hmm. We know at the very end how this ring gets destroyed. And it's interesting here that these words come back. Very
Yeah.
interesting, man. What is
Yeah.
that power? What is that power?
Well, I think one thing, and not to derail our conversation here.
Well,
but,
why not?
We've done it like 5 times already. Tolkien, I think, was a great reflector on. Obviously, you guys have read some of the letters and seen some of his, or listened to some of the interviews. This being a story about death, and even life and death. I like to extend it to that. That not to be too eager to deal out death in the name of justice makes that kind of caution by one of our counselors in the book. Some that die deserve life. Can you give that to them? So we often here have the ability to deal out death, but we don't. We can't take it back. It's such a. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting how like the powers that you have. You know what I'm saying?
And also kind of flips it on its head too. The power to give death, but he's talking about the power to give life.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
So it's like you can wield one of those powers, but you got to be real cautious, and it's not. Who are you to really, kind of, I don't know, to deal it out in such a way. I don't know. It was it's a challenge. It's a challenging, quote there and moment from Gandalf.
Yes, it is.
And I like to reflect on it.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. So, anyways, Sam stared at his master. So he says very well. He actually lowers his sword.
Yeah.
And Frodo is actually willing to kind of allow Gollum to get up.
Yeah. Now that I see him, I do pity him.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
And don't you pity Gollum? I mean,
sure. I think Sam's misgivings with Gollum is just it's more of a
like a knowledge.
I think it's just keeping his master safe.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's more just sort of like,
right.
if it's just me, whatever.
Right.
But I've got to look out after Frodo.
Right.
And this guy's making my job harder.
And don't you think Frodo's too is his knowledge of Gollum's past and how he was Sméagol once, and then also this
he's a ring bearer.
Yeah, right. This kinship.
Yeah.
He sees what he could become.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So.
Man, dude, the levels are there.
Yeah, well, and we're getting to so this is where if you like Ez forgot about the ring in the beginning of the chapter, you're reminded about it here. I mean, right? And I say that in like I think it's meant to be that way. I think I think you're meant to kind of forget about it from time to time, and that it's a power
that's part of its power.
Yes, that's what I'm driving to.
Yeah,
because it's something that. For Frodo to really believe Sméagol, he has to swear, give his word, right? Well, actually, I jumped way ahead there because I mean that does come up, but he's losing his mind right now. He's like,
I'm having so much fun, dude.
He's like, dude, did you just jump 2 chapters ahead?
I'm having so much fun.
I just saw Lade flip to the back of his book like. Was that the end? Was that
Did
the
I
end?
miss that? No, it's in here.
It's
this
in there.
chapter. I don't think you're skipping that. I don't know. It's hard to keep this all straight, my friend.
Teasing. It is this chapter.
It's a lot.
But what happens right before that, though, is he actually doesn't he kind of quickly betray them? Let's see. Whimpered to the ground. Look at us. Let's see. Oh, help me out here, man. Where are we at here?
I don't know. Where did you leave off? Nice hobbits. Where did you? Yeah.
He was trying to pacify the hobbits.
Yeah.
And then we went through the whole, Gandalf's, quote, and giving him pity, right? Sam stared at his master, who seemed to be speaking to someone who was not there, right? Gollum lifted his head. Yes, wretched we are, precious. He whined, misery, misery. Hobbits won't kill us. Nice hobbits. So he continues with all of this. Sam scowled at him and sucked his teeth. But he seemed to sense that there was something odd about his master's mood, and that the matter was beyond argument. So again, he sort of said that he's going to.
And Gollum makes this offer to lead them. I'll find you safe paths in the dark. Yes, we will. And you're right. It's like Sam's starting to see that. Yeah, and he's amazed at Frodo's reply. He's starting to see this connection form, and he's troubled by it. He's worried about it, and he sees like there's nothing he can do to talk him out of it. His mind's made up. He's talking to people who aren't there. You know, he's probably wondering about that as well. Like who's he talking to right now?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then you have this direct moment. Frodo looked straight into Gollum's eyes, which were something that were a point of torment for Sam previously.
Yeah.
Which flinched and twisted away. Can't even look at him. You know that, or you guess well enough, Sméagol, he said, quietly and sternly. We are going to Mordor, of course, and you know the way there, I believe. And Gollum covers his ears with his hands, as if such frankness and the open speaking of the names hurt him. We guessed, yes, we guessed, he whispered, and we didn't want them to go, did we? No, precious, not the nice hobbits. Ashes, ashes and dust, and thirst there is, and pits, 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 and orcs. Thousands of orcs. Nice hobbits mustn't go to that place. Can't even say it.
Yep.
So you've been there before, and you're being drawn back there, aren't you? So Frodo's just like, he's getting right to him, grilling him. He's like, you're not going to fool me. And this is like really what he's doing right here is, Gollum or Sméagol, by the end of this chapter, starts to call him master.
Yes.
Right?
True.
And this is almost like Frodo's. I mean, I know there's other implications too when he calls him master, but this is him mastering Gollum.
Yeah, it is.
Right? This is him showing, hey, I'm the boss, I'm the ring bearer. This is my journey, and you're not going to derail it. You can help us if you will, but you're not in control here.
No. Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's in levels. So the first bit here is he explains what they need. Gollum does reluctantly kind of agree, and they end up kind of he and Sam almost lay a trap for Gollum.
Yeah,
where they kind of they know he's going to run, right? They know he's going to bolt, and this is before he swears to the Precious,
right?
But. So they set this up. They both look at each other and kind of say, "We know, like, let's see how this goes. Don't fall asleep. Keep your guard about you, right?"
Yeah.
The hobbits seated themselves beside him, one on either side, with their backs to the stony wall, resting their legs. So we get past that whole bit of, where Lane was just at, kind of talking about the road they need to take to Mordor. The shadow fell down from the hills and grew dark before them. The stars grew thick and bright in the sky. No one stirred. Gollum sat with his legs drawn up, knees under his chin, flat hands and feet splayed on the ground, his eyes closed, but he seemed tense, as if thinking or listening. And this is where that little bit sort of a connection between Sam and Frodo, and he kind of says, your rope might prove useful again, Sam, he said. Sam got out the rope. And this is where they kind of jump Gollum once he takes off, right? And he had tried to escape them, to evade them, and they tie him up with the rope, and he starts screaming like a crazy, crazy man. Yeah, it's burning him.
Yeah,
So they did describe that rope as having that moon glimmering, milky white light kind of.
Yeah, right.
Like
almost
a light,
like there's starlight
like a glow.
in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Which he doesn't like light, so
it's burning him.
It's burning him, much like the sun or the stars or the moon would.
Yeah, it hurts us. It hurts us.
I'm going to derail us one more time.
Sure.
It's not really derailing. I want your opinion on this. So before that, he says, suddenly his voice and language changed, and he sobbed in his throat and spoke, but not to them. Leave me alone, Gollum. You hurt me. Oh, my poor hands. Gollum, I don't want to come back. I can't find it. I am tired. We can't find it. Gollum, no, nowhere. They're always awake. Dwarves, men, and elves. He keeps going on. Who is he talking to?
Sauron.
Takes his hand and he's shaking it to the east. That's what I have written down to Sauron. Yeah.
Well, I actually think, so when I read that, I was thinking to myself, one of the thoughts that came to me was, wow, how many times do I have to say it? I was thinking to myself, the way thoughts came to me. How many different ways can you say it? When thoughts blossomed in my mind as I was reading this spot in the text.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, and again, I just did it right there. It's like my go-to phrase. It's like my go-to phrase. Guys, it's literally filler. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's good.
So, Does is he resisting Sauron?
Well, and I think so, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
We have the same thought.
Because before this, it was all we. Here he breaks, and you can almost see him resisting using the word we.
Yeah.
We. I don't want it to come back. I can't find it. I am tired. We can't find it. Gollum, no, nowhere. That's where you get that whole Gollum Sméagol fight, right?
Yeah.
I versus we.
It's breaking. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the end of it,
well,
by the end of this chapter,
I think though, why do you think that he is resisting? He doesn't. First of all, he doesn't want. It's one. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Once it gets back in the hands of Sauron, it's done. It's donezo.
Right.
There's always a chance if it's still if it's in the hands of like a Hobbit or something else like that. It's still in play. But once it gets back to its master, donezo.
So you think he's manipulating them there, maybe? Or
no.
You think he's actually struggling against?
I think he's actually struggling
his
against
inner demons.
Yeah, and he wants to resist it because if
I see what you're saying. If it returns, then it's done. Then it's over.
It's done. He wants it for himself, or let the hobbits keep it, and I'll stay close to it. You know what I'm saying?
So what is that in him? So his true self wants it. It's not just Sauron in him.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he's.
Yeah. Isn't that sad?
Isn't that
sad? Gosh, dang, dude.
It's he's corrupted to
the
a
core.
Point. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't believe that. Maybe there is a bit that. I don't know.
Well, we see a bit of that come out.
Yeah, we do. I mean, and so I don't know. It's his fight, but at the same time, and he's almost there.
I know.
You know, it's hard. We'll get to that later though, as it comes up. So again, thoughts blossoming in my mind. We have the betrayal, right, where he kind of rushes off. We got him in rope. We got him tied up, and now comes the moment where, like, what is it that we can, promises? Yes, I promise, said Gollum, I will serve the master of the precious, good master, good Sméagol. Gollum. Suddenly he began to weep and bite at his ankle again. So they take the rope off.
Yeah.
And he actually has to have him swear on the precious. Yeah. Right? That's something that he believes that is going to bind him, in a sense, to Frodo. There
is a line, too, there that's really interesting, too, where it's talking about when Frodo's convinced that the rope really was causing him physical pain and saw that it was too tight. That it was not too tight, indeed hardly tight enough, and that he just made it really quick. Just a note on who Sam is. Sam was gentler than his words. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, but
he could have had that tighter around him, and it wasn't. It's a comment on who Sam is.
I know. I'm just teasing with you. I was trying to get into a fight about the. Right. I was trying to get into a fight about the rope.
Sam's a douche. What are you talking about? But he's just so it's just interesting.
I know.
Yeah,
it's a comment on his character.
Yeah, it is.
Which
sorry. Where were you now? Where were we?
Same spot you were at.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, which is that, like you had mentioned,
on the precious. How dare you?
Yeah, he does take the rope off. They do swear to the precious, and for a moment it appeared to Sam that his master had grown and Gollum had shrunk.
Yeah.
Because right before that he says, "Yes, you know, Sméagol, it is before you," and he wants to touch it and see it, and he will not let him, do that. Yeah. That's just a temptation that's too great. He knows he wouldn't be able to resist it, and I think saying that he is the ring bearer and it is before you now kind of makes him go like, okay, he covets it so much that, like, he's willing to serve this person because they have it until the ring either seeks him out or what have you. So
he also says, talking about that contrasting imagery. Yeah, right there. A mighty lord, you have a thought?
Finish your thought first.
A mighty lord who hid his brightness in gray cloud, and at his feet a little whining dog. Yet the two were in some way akin and not alien. They could reach one another's minds. And so just interesting, Sam seeing this connection. Like, part of him's got to be, like, again, kind of disturbed by it, a little discouraged. Like, there's this deeper connection that even he has with Frodo.
Yeah.
And that's got to be unsettling, especially, with his his gut, and we talked about Sam's gut always kind of serving him
Yeah.
the right way.
Sure.
And at the end of this chapter, even though Frodo's like, okay, I feel pretty good about this, we see Sam doesn't feel the same way.
Sure.
In his gut, he does not trust these promises, especially on the precious. And yeah.
Well, 2 points. I don't think there's what makes Sam, I think, uneasy is that like he doesn't know what this means or symbolizes or what this the impact of swearing to that, because he has not been a ring bearer. He doesn't get it, and Frodo does, and so there's that. Let me ask you a question.
Pointed question.
So Bilbo, when they're back in Rivendell, and the ring is before him, and he, we had that discussion about whether Bilbo was reacting the way he did in the film, or was it that the shadow passed between them and it was more Frodo, the ring was sort of controlling Frodo. I like to, whatever. So there's that whole piece.
Thought came to my mind.
Let me try to blossom this thought out. I was thinking about Gollum and his addiction to the ring, and is it still pulling on him? Does it still want him to take possession of it?
Oh yeah.
Or because here's where I'm gonna this will help drive the point. If the ring does get back to Sauron, let's say it gets back there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would it be pushing for anyone else to come get it? What happens to that pull that's on Gollum and Bilbo and others, ring bearers? Once it's back its master's possession, if it's no longer pulling on them, are they still obsessed and driven? Do they still covet it? You see what I'm saying? Like, does that stop? So I wonder sometimes, like, is the ring actually, it's right next to Gollum.
Yeah.
Right? Is it okay with where it's at? Because it's going back to its master? Or does it actually want Gollum to, is it drawing him in and pulling him to take it from Frodo so he can take it back to Sauron?
It's a great
directly?
question.
Because eventually some point...
Or is it a win-win situation for that ring?
There you go. But if it's a win-win, I'm thinking if it goes back into Sauron's hand, on his finger or whatever, in his possession, and he wields it, that ring is no longer trying to get anybody else to come pick it up and bring it back to its master.
Right. So would they just become servants to him?
That's what I'm wondering.
Is that what all those people become? They're
so exactly. Once he has the ring, exactly. You've got the one ring to rule them all.
Because then that's how the ring further serves Sauron. Is it puts that empty promise out there that, hey, if you serve Sauron, maybe you can get the ring back. Maybe somehow, if you serve him, if you serve him long enough, maybe it'll fall off, or maybe you could cut it off him, and then that traps them into serving Sauron forever.
Into a service, right? Yeah. That's just what I was wondering. Because there is a difference between you want it yourself and there's a pull on you to have it.
That's something Shippy talks about. Yes, that the it's like the ring is a character.
Yeah,
it's this inanimate object that's tied to the soul of he's Maiar, right?
Yeah.
And
is
that right? I don't know my Maiar and Valar.
Sauron.
Yeah. Okay. And so this elevated being.
Yep.
And is the influence internal within you? Is it external from just the ring, or is it both?
That's what exactly. I'm glad you articulated it that way. That's exactly the thought that I was trying to blossom, because that's what I'm.
Let's just record all night.
Let's
do it.
Sarah said she'll be up at 5.
It's 1:30 anyway.
We're almost there.
Might as well.
Dude, we make people tired when we say the
Sorry,
time.
guys. 1:30 in the afternoon.
Please. That's 1:30 in the afternoon.
The birds are out.
It's like, wow.
It's summertime.
Shit, you can hear the eagles overhead. That was Lane.
No, it was sound effect.
So, but that's something I would like to hear other folks kind of talk about. I know Nick Nick Freeberg was a deep thinker in regards to sort of ring lore and its power and those external internal.
I think he has the Silmarillion memorized. Like, the dude's intelligent I can't even say the word.
So he's more than that. Yeah. He's a good guy. Anyway,
yes, he is.
So to kind of wrap this chapter up, though, because we pretty much are at the end here. The swearing happens there, and there's a cool little transition that we see between with Gollum. You know, he talks about good master, good Sméagol, Gollum. Suddenly, he began to weep, bite his ankles. We said that. They take the rope off. The misgivings between Sam. Let's see. Not too far ahead. I'm going to be on your tail. I've only got I've got the rope handy. So Gollum is actually moving around without the rope, and he is just he's walking and leading them. There are even times where it says that he would go on ahead of them and he would wait for them to catch up.
Yeah.
You know, and
like
he's
a dog almost,
guiding them through, like, follow me. So it really does seem that, like, Frodo, there's some wisdom in him having him swear or make a promise, you know, on
it serves
the
him
ring.
for a little. You're sure, yeah. And there's also an interesting point of, you know, talking about Sam's gut again. There's this line back here where it's after Frodo commands him to take the rope off, and there's just this quick moment where Tolkien says Sam suspected him more deeply than ever, and if possible, liked the new Gollum, the Sméagol, less than the old. Wow. So this Sméagol personality that's come out, that half of his self, is more suspicious to him than Gollum. He suspects him even more now. And I think that stuck out to me more than anything in this chapter, because I think, you know, knowing what we know, right? You always trust Sam's gut. There is something inside of Sam that is so pure and is so good that just, it speaks clearly through manipulation, through exterior influences. Because think about where Frodo is too. He's had this ring a long time. Mm-hmm. It's just him and Sam now.
Yep.
There's no Gandalf around. There's no Aragorn. There's no higher being to give him counsel.
No, he's actually one of, you know, like from a lower class.
Yeah, right. It's his servant.
Yeah.
Right? He's his gardener.
Yep.
And then you've got this new character who comes along, who's also a ring bearer. So who he sees, you know, he's starting to see on his level now.
Right.
He takes pity on him, but then he sees, hey, he was in my shoes once.
Yeah.
He took this ring. He bore this ring for a long time. So even more of an equal than someone of the same kin, right? Sam.
Yeah, and I think if you watch, Sméagol kind of knows that, and
yeah, he does,
and plays, and will continue to kind of mess with Frodo in that way.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's bonkers. You know, it's actually a really hard thing as you move forward to watch your friend go through something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
So it talks about them fading swiftly into the darkness over all the leagues of waste. Before the gates of Moria, there was a black silence. And looking out over the edge of the Emyn Muil, Mike, they right at the end of this chapter, they've gotten through, and the marshes are ahead of them, and that's where we'll pick up next time. So I do have a couple questions and some points at the end. Cool connections, that's what we call them. So I want to ask you: is Sméagol, right? You forget about the title. The name is in the title. The Taming of Sméagol, right? Yeah. Gollum is gone now. So is he really changed? Is he really turned? And is the fact that Sam suspects him more now than ever, you know, a powerful thought in that he really isn't tamed, that this is something he's putting on, or that he's only tamed for a short period of time? What do you think?
Okay.
Is he truly changed? Or like you said, is this a manipulation? Is this a tool? Or is this him... Well, I guess that would be manipulation. Him using this.
I don't think you can. Okay, here. He is fighting with himself. Right. He is fighting with Sauron.
Right.
You know, and so he's just seen compassion and kindness, and you know, I mean, even at the time, I don't think he could have seen it. Yeah, even with Bilbo's pity, it's not something that he. That was not a good day for him, right? And he's been in long pursuit of the ring and his precious. To me, it seems like it's half and half, man.
Yeah.
It's literally 50-50. Like, I feel like part of him really is thankful for that and did swear to the precious and is, like, by serving these hobbits...
redeeming himself in a way.
Maybe, but also, like... I don't know. It's so hard to tell because part of me thinks he doesn't want the ring to get back to Sauron. He doesn't want the hobbits to destroy it either, though. You know, and so we know he does
Somewhere
lay
in between.
a trap.
Yeah,
at
right.
some
He
point.
does. Yeah, you're right.
But right now, I think he is intoxicated with this feeling or this promise that he's made.
Yeah.
But
And at least
it wears
he can be.
off.
And at least he can be close to it.
Yeah.
Even, right. He's
Yeah.
close to it.
Right.
Which
He's
an
in its
addict, if you're
presence.
addicted to something and you want it back, just being close to it's enough.
Yeah.
Okay, and then another major idea that comes about in this chapter, I mean, it's through everything in these books, but the whole idea of perspective. You've got Frodo's perspective, you've got Sam's perspective, and you've got Sméagol's, Gollum's, and how they're all so different, and how they're all thrown together in this group that has to move forward together as one.
Okay.
Just an interesting idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's also kind of a play on, earlier in book 1 we had the chapter Three's Company. This is like Three's Company, but in not such a happy way.
Yeah, I guess.
Right? It's almost like Three's a crowd.
Right.
And two of our hobbits, and then this creature who used to be, kind of still is a hobbit creature, and it's just it's a very different circumstance.
Yeah.
So,
Gosh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, wait. Wow, we definitely got derailed there, and things went up one way and down the other. But
yeah, up and down cracks and crevices, and it's just got me thinking. I don't know. It can be treacherous, but I think we just need to start a Lord of the Rings podcast, man. Let's just finally do it. We've been talking about it this whole time, and let's get the name right.
okay.
You got any ideas?
What if I just didn't have any ideas, and the whole game,
Don't do that to me.
the Can You Smell It podcast?
We could have The Rock on.
Yeah.
We could talk WWE, how that is reflected in the world of Tolkien. Not but a Ninny Hammer podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we just kind of proved we were Ninny Hammers this
Is a
episode, didn't
Ninny-
we?
Yeah. Okay. Us. Sure.
Right.
Perfect.
Stuck in M&M Wheel.
My Beautiful Rope podcast.
I know you'd like to start that.
Could think of some good clip art for it.
What about Snakes and Adders? It could kind of be like a Chutes and Ladders type deal.
Dude, I hate snakes. I'm sorry.
Indiana Jones?
I am out, dude. I am out on snakes like you wouldn't believe.
That
Like,
surprises
I'm
me.
Are you kidding me? No, I'm out.
Okay, well, it doesn't have to be about animals.
All right, good.
Getting closer. One of these
How
days.
about Blossoming Thoughts podcast?
I really like that. That's got some potential.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's table that one. Let's move on with that one. First
yeah.
one we can move on with, I think.
Let's package that back where it came from. In my brain. All right.
I had a thought.
Sure.
No, I was just
I had a thought
doing
podcast.
impersonation.
Great.
Impersonation. Jeez, guys, we are really. You know what?
Hey,
We're not
down.
gonna apologize for who we are.
calm down.
Oh my gosh. You know what?
Bywater Post. Do you want me? I will save you. You want me to save you?
Yeah, because I don't think we have time for this.
Yeah. Do you want me to save you?
Guys, what I was gonna do. Listen here.
Go ahead.
What I was gonna do is I was gonna read through. I was gonna read through all of your comments on the anniversary Instagram giveaway, and there are 53 of them. And we got so stuck in M&M Wheel that I think it would push it over to 3 hours probably.
Probably. Yeah.
So I will share that. I will say that for another time, or just go check
Other
it out
corners.
on Instagram.
We could do it in other corners.
Yeah, because literally there are so many cool memories there. And I was reading through, and I just I was.
we'll
blown away.
stop after every single one of them. We'll
I know we
reminisce.
will. It's a whole episode in and of itself. Maybe we'll do. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that sometime. But
yeah.
But anyway, the winner will be chosen. The contest closed at midnight, and so we will announce the winner of that very, very soon. We'll pick someone at random who commented and liked, and they'll be receiving that book and a little something extra special as well. Pouring water on you, bro? We're loopy.
Bywater Post.
Bywater
friends.
Post. Becca
Here-
Keaton, related
yeah,
to Michael.
man.
No, just kidding.
That'd be cool.
All right,
You got
buddy.
this one? You mean get it?
Go for it.
I got it. You got it?
You got it.
All right.
I will sit and listen. I'm very excited.
Here we go. 17 years ago, a film called Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, changed my life.
I'm in already. Line 1, and I'm in.
Yeah. It's common thread among our Bywater posts. So I was 13 years old and had just had Christmas with my family. My dad decided that while we were all off for the holidays, we would go and watch a film together at the cinema. When he told me what it was called, me and my younger sister, who was 11 at the time, pulled our faces.
Yeah.
Pulled our faces?
Yeah. Pulling a face.
Oh. Gosh, that must be... where's Becca from? I want to know. I had never heard of this Lord of the Rings, and my dad wouldn't tell me what the film was about, so I'm ashamed to say that as I sat down in the cinema, I was expecting a boxing film
That's awesome.
to come on. Are you...
Dun,
What?
dun,
This is great.
dun, dun.
Lord of the Boxing Rings. Little did I know what I was in for. The film started, and within 5 minutes, I turned to my sister and said, this is no boxing film. And I was swept away. I had never felt such love for anything I had watched in all my 13 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah. As I left the cinema, I couldn't wait to go back and watch it again and again and again. And to this day, I still have my ticket stub from my first, second, third watching at the cinema.
Wow.
Yeah. To say I was obsessed was an understatement.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. For the next 2 years, my life revolved around these films, and December couldn't come around quick enough.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my sister and my best friend every Friday night would talk for hours about it, stick posters of Orlando Bloom all over our walls,
Yep.
And play the score in the background.
Do you remember that feeling of waiting for the next film to come out?
Yes, I do.
Just the build up.
Oh, it was awesome.
How exciting was that?
I thought you were going to say, do you remember when we stuck Orlando Bloom posters all over our wall?
Well, that too.
Okay.
Don't tell people about that.
Does Goldberry know about that? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think so.
Is there a Viggo Mortensen poster in my house now? Maybe.
Maybe. We even wrote our own fan fiction called
Oh my gosh.
Lord of the Romance. What?
Can we get this published?
Are you kidding me? I want a
Becca,
hard
can you
copy.
send it to us, please?
Get it? I want a hard copy.
How about this? If she sends it to us, we'll act it out.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. We got to see what kind of ratings this has.
Hey, Patreon.
Yeah, well, there we go. That too. Where we all became a part of the story and even had our own Hobbit names, which we found on a Hobbit name generator website. My Hobbit persona being,
Lila Hamwich.
Lila Hamwich?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Thanks for, Lila Hamwich. As we grew older, the posters came down, but my love of the films was still very much there.
Wow.
I have now read all the books countless times and have an avid collector's edition of the books, old and new. Wow. A few years ago, that almost started a catastrophe there. Sorry. The Flannel Wizard doesn't have his spectacles on right now, or he does, but they're not helping. A few years ago, me and my friends and my sister went to the outdoor screening of The Fellowship. The Fellowship held in the ruins of Kirkstall Abbey in Leeds. Wow, that sounds
wow.
cool.
So England.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
We drank Pippin's Prosecco. And watched the Ents wandering around the grounds and sat with a few hundred people and watched the film together into the night. That's a cool little visual, man. You know. This is why I love it so much. That is one story. This is one story that can bring so many people together from all around the world. I think back to when I was 13 and wondered if my dad hadn't suggested we go see the film, would I have gone myself without knowing about this world? That's a good point. You know, once the movie passes you by, would you have actually gone and seen it later? You know? Or would have had the same kind of...
That's a great question.
Well, because there's that like element of, I thought it was a boxing movie.
Right.
And it turns out to be, it's such a cool kind
unexpected
of surprise. Yeah.
And being like a teenager, being 13, I was around the same age.
Right.
And just the impact it had, I was ripe for this kind of magical wonder.
Yeah.
Becca was the same way.
Yeah. She goes on to say, and how would my life be now? So what kind of change would there be there? Would I love musical scores
Great
as much
question.
as I do? Yeah,
wow.
That's a really good Would I even love the films and TV shows I watch today if that film hadn't started my obsession with film and TV? Wow. Because I honestly can't remember what I loved this much before I saw The Fellowship of the Ring on the big screen. That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sometimes feels like I am the only person in the world who can love these stories as much as I do. But listening to your podcast, I know that I am not alone, and there are people who are just as passionate, if not more so than me, about the world Tolkien created. I have so many other stories I would love to share with you, but you would be reading for hours. Well, the Flannel Wizard would be stumbling through the reading, but so it would not just take hours, it would take days. So for now, I shall say good night. Me and my dog, Old Lady Willow, her actual name.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow. Are going to finish watching The Two Towers, which just happened to be on TV as I am writing this.
That's cool.
Keep up the good work, guys. I can't wait for the next episode now that I'm all caught up. Loving being a part of this book club and being able to go on the journey through Middle-earth once again. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Becca.
With a heart.
Love that. Yeah. And an X, which is a kiss.
Hey, can I get a couple X's and O's in there? Let's come on.
But, awesome Tolkien story. Oh, my gosh.
Sorry.
He's adding XOXO, Becca. So he took a license with that X.
It's in the doc. It's official.
Can totally relate to that. Going into it, having no idea what the film would be. I was kind of drug along with my uncle and my dad and my cousins, and was blown away. And how it influences. You think if you hadn't been swept away in those movies and those stories, what would your life be like now? I know it sounds dramatic, but what would your life be like? We wouldn't be sitting here talking right now.
Well, see that
It's amazing.
Exactly, we wouldn't be. That's where I've always said, like, my mom's passion for sci-fi and fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad there was just even. She tried to hide it, but like it was there enough that like it like just Becca
anyway.
Kind of those influences can guide you to. I want to know more about her. Did her father just want to go see it because it was only the holidays, or was there any passion there, or just it looked good?
Great question.
That'd be kind of cool to get some follow up on that.
Question.
So,
and just also, just a reminder that we're a book club. I mean, it's just so cool, and it allows us to have, like nights like tonight. We're, when you're part of book club, you show up as you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what we always do. We don't ever try to put on radio voices or personalities that aren't true to us.
Facades.
Yeah. We drop the facade.
Yeah.
Which looks like facade, if you think about it.
Add that to your vocabulary.
And we come as we are, just as you would. I envision us all meeting in this room and talking and hearing. It would have to be a bigger room, I guess, maybe in the backyard or the whole village of Amanda, and hearing each other's takes. And like with any real life book club, you show up and sometimes you're loopy. Sometimes you didn't get enough sleep the night before. Well, sometimes you got lost in the chapter. And I love that we've had chapters like this before where it's like, dude, we got lost in Emyn Muil.
Totally got lost.
And it's just cool how your life can reflect the chapter. And
also,
I don't know.
Think about the parts that you're more passionate about. I know sometimes we breeze past a line that someone was just dying for us to read and wanted us to hit. And it's like, dang, man. I mean, there's so much that it is so hard to meet all of those different. That's why it's cool that we have the Facebook and we have the Bywater post where you can actually highlight those things like, hey, I know that chapter's passed, but guess what, guys? I want to bring something back to your attention.
Yep.
Here's where it's at for me. And that's cool.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah. I love it, man. So really cool. Cool reminders. And we're grateful for you guys and just this book club that we have going on. It's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's cool to stop and reflect on that.
Yeah.
So thank you, Becca. Strawberries with cream.
Yeah.
We saw some incredible acrobatics by Sméagol Gollum this chapter. Almost superhuman. We also think that rope of the Gladrim may be magical. If you could choose to possess a magic power or magic object, what would it be and why?
Holy smokes.
I think we've had one similar to this before, but you know what?
No, this is good.
This stuck out to me.
Hold on. You were talking about the difference between a magical power and a magical object.
You also, I noticed when you're reading Becca's.
Was I popping?
You say cinema?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's cool. You sound very British. Are you British, bro?
Is it cinema?
I think it's anime.
Oh,
Cinnamon.
hey. Guys.
Okay, so what would you do, bud?
Okay, here's the thing. So a magical power is something I can keep. It doesn't go away, hopefully, unless it's like...
Sure. Yeah, an object you could lose. You're in danger of losing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to go with the power.
Could be taken from me. I don't know. Hold on. Depends on what the object is.
Okay.
I mean, are we talking like Gandalf's staff?
It can be anything.
But
does the staff also come with power?
Does it have to be in Middle-earth? Because if I'm pulling Excalibur from the stone, man, I mean...
Well, why not just get Anduril? I mean, come on.
Hold on, man.
Come on. An army of the dead, bro?
You know me. I'd rather have a staff over a sword any days, okay? But if I have to pull a sword...
Excalibur?
Merlin was helping Arthur. It was a...
What comes with Excalibur?
People are like, how did Arthur get into this podcast? He
just gets to be king.
It's because of the new movie that's coming out. I just saw the previews for it, so it's got me thinking.
Okay.
But no, I think I would probably go with a magical power, just because I wouldn't lose it.
Word of command.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good one.
Really?
I'd have to really think about which magical. You can only pick one power.
For the sake of strawberries with cream, yes.
All right. Well, one power, then I would speak the word of command.
I like that. That's very fitting.
Thank you.
You kind of do it anyway. I think I would go down the Sauron road. I'd like to control the weather.
Wow.
I'd go with the power as well. And I like what's going on right now. Guys, right now, it's like 50 degrees outside.
Yeah.
In December. Whoa. In January.
We're in 2019, man.
Hello. In January. All right. And that's a pretty cool thing here in the Shire in Ohio. I think we might actually turn into the Shire because there's no snow there ever. Mm-hmm. What are you pointing at?
No, man, look here. See that twitching? See my eye twitching?
Hey, I didn't tell you, but I have a secret power.
My eye's twitching, guys. Lane just caused me to literally...
I increased the barometric pressure in here, and now your eye is twitching.
I was saying my eye only twitches when the pressure changes. So that's
it.
That's crazy.
It. So I do have that power. But I would like that to bring in some ragged clouds and some snow and some rain and some clear them out if I wanted sun. So
yeah, that actually the weather would be you can't
steal that.
No, I'm just saying.
No,
I wouldn't want to steal it. I wouldn't want to steal it because I can literally just speak a word of command and say stop. Silence you. Thunderstorm.
Depends on how strong your word of command is, bro.
Strong, bro.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah. So I don't know. I like that. That was a good one. That's a good one
man.
because I would like to see. I'd like to hear. We should honestly make that a poll, a bonus poll.
Okay.
If you can remember.
Okay.
If not, guys, ask Lane where the bonus poll is.
Yeah, I could do that, and they could comment on what they want their power
would you want
or their
magic
object
power or magic? That's a good one because I would like to know what your powers would be, and if you pick object, what object are we picking?
Okay, cool. I like
Don't
that.
you think it's cool? I love.
Yeah, I do.
I love magic stuff.
Magic is good for you
Magic is
for me.
Oh yeah.
You stay away from my king thought.
You didn't think he's coming back, but he's here.
There's grim and warm tongue.
We didn't mean for him to come back, but it's unexpected. Okay. All right, my friend.
I'm in the Shire doing my bad deeds.
Hey, can I say? So that was strawberries with cream. Do you have anything else?
I have strawberries whipped cream.
Oh my gosh.
No,
okay.
I don't.
Share the load, guys. I want to one more time say thank you for the Kickstarter.
Yes.
It feels like I mentioned that about 5 hours ago when we started this episode.
Half that.
But you're right, it is half that. I can't thank you guys enough. We don't even know what it's at right now, but I'm sure it's continued to increase. We haven't even I have aunts and uncles and my sister and my dad who still want to pledge and want their name on that wall.
Yeah.
And I don't want you guys to think that we're, this is, again, something that it provides us a place where we can keep doing this, and we were kind of joking in the Kickstarter, video which you should definitely go check out. We've pinned that post to the main Facebook page, so go click on it, like the page, and then go check out the Kickstarter video, even just for a laugh. You don't have to donate, but if you want to go check it out, you'll understand why we're doing this, and hopefully you'll get a sense of why I thought it was so important to do it now before Lane has a second child. And also, he's not going to say this, but like, that's a lot, man. We want to make sure you guys are comfortable here and that we're set up out there to kind of keep doing this and raise your kids in this, with this positive book group in the background. And you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, we will go on, whether we can get it built or not, but it would just be, and honestly, it's like out of honor of you guys, as a testament that we're not going anywhere.
No, we're not.
We're not going anywhere. Tolkien has, we have, cheesy cow, we have all the Silmarillion to get into. We have the unfinished tales.
We have volumes of histories.
I don't even know, guys. And then thinking about, further up, if you're a fan of Lewis, that all of his works we've got to get through too. We get to go through. And then who knows after that?
Yeah.
Who knows? It's an exciting thing. And we have another project we're working on as well.
That's true. That's true, yeah.
That's the 3 is company, my friend.
Well,
and
we've looked at it. We've got over a decade's worth of work to do. And
I think we do.
We really do.
And then I'm not even thinking about the shows and the films that'll come out subsequent. And it's cool. And then that way, when you come here, there's a place to go check out. There's a place to go record. When we're at the party, we can just pop into the garage. There's the studio. And we can make it, the more that we're able to raise, the more that you're able to donate, the nicer we're able to make this.
Yeah, that's right.
This studio. I think it was Susie who said, let's show our support, and that way it can be we can make the nicest studio possible.
Well, here's the thing. I would love if we're actually planning on, with Billy Boyd, I have been planning anyways, to hit him up at a convention.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, if he comes back to Columbus, just in our talks and things, whoever could come to that Columbus Convention Center or what have you. If we have anybody, even somebody who's not I'm not talking a major cast member, but just the Tolkien Society. You've got people there who, do different moots around the country and stuff. So it's if we can make it nice enough, it's a place where people could come and actually, gather, and we could actually do some legit recording and things. I've invested a lot of money in this. I truly enjoy running book clubs, and if you guys don't know this about me by now, this is like what I do. It's my life.
Yeah.
I could be doing a lot worse things. I think this is, what I'm saying? I enjoy this. I truly love getting lost in reading, and I'm a reading teacher, and I don't know if I've talked about me being a teacher, but I don't know if you guys know this. I am a reading teacher, and I teach kids how to read. Sarah does as well. You do,
I do.
You intervene, and we teach kids how to read, and it's so important. I want every kid deserves that that right, that ability, and they all can, and I believe that. So I'm passionate about this, and I want to be able to keep doing this and make more of these clubs where kids can join in. My middle schoolers, my high schoolers, elementary kids,
big kids like us,
us. Yes, it's just fantastic. So here's the thing. I'm gonna say it again. Honest to God, if that wherever that number stops at after 60 days, I am going to double it, and I am going to make this the best that we can. So depends on what you guys want to do. How far do you want to push the Flannel Wizard? Because I'll take you all the way.
Sell some cloaks.
Yeah. Somebody hit me up and they said, I think I had texted either one of our conspirators, and they were like, it might have been Jen. She was like, when's the bake sales? Start. Do we need to do more bake sales or something? This is kind of funny to push us to that. And that's my vision has expanded from what I had originally thought this was going to be, because I didn't think we were going to get this type of support. And so it's expanded to where I think I've scared Lane and Sarah a little bit with my vision.
No, you haven't.
But
here's the other thing too. I don't think it's that we didn't think we would get this kind of support. We didn't want to assum that we would get this kind of support, because that is a lot. I mean, it's
asking a lot
for me. I mean, I would think that that is it is in a way asking a lot. And but the fact that you guys are so on board, that you are uppers, we all are uppers, and that this book club is a community.
Yeah.
And that you feel ownership.
There you go.
That you feel, and we've said it since day one, that's what this is. This is a safe place where you come, you talk about the books that you love, and you're as much a part of this group as any of us. And it's a community. It's a community where you can come and I don't know, bond with other people who love the same things you love. And that's what we become. We become our own little fellowship. That's huge, and that's encouraging.
It is.
It's really encouraging.
It is. I want to share one more thing with you guys. I'm just in this this new year, man. I am just so stoked, and even though I am just crazy tired right now, I have to share this. Yeah. I was on another podcast. I think it was just last night, and I want you guys to know how much you impact and influence me. I was there, and I'm in a completely different fandom, and I'm talking about different things, and several of you uppers who, I don't even know if you like that fandom, came to my mind. And I had examples, about your kindness, things you had said, things that you had talked about in Tolkien. And I'll bring up one in particular, and it was Calais. And it was talking about
the Nordic Jedi himself.
Man. And it came up, and so you guys are honestly on my mind when I leave. Amanda, you're with me in Minas Tirith, all right?
We hear from you all week.
We do, and you're constantly there. You literally pick each other up, and you pick me up all the time. And it's just, I have to tell you guys, I'm eternally grateful. I'm so thankful for the positivity in the group, and this outpouring of support we've gotten is amazing.
And just know, too, that even if, we try to love, laugh, wow, everything that we possibly can, we would love to comment on everything, too, but sometimes there's just not time. Honestly, there's just not time. But we want you to know that we see what you're doing. We're proud of the group that you guys perpetuate this to be, and we're honored to be in your fellowship. So So just please know that always, and that we don't take your friendship for granted. We don't take your support for granted. We know that it is an honor that you bestow upon us, and I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I never in my life, as a 13-year-old boy, would have thought, falling in love with these stories, having them present throughout my life, using them to try and make good decisions with my life and who I wanted to be. And then, I don't know if I ever shared this, but as a kid, I didn't have friends. I did not have friends. I was the new. I was the new kid twice in a row.
Yeah.
Moved from Chicago to Coshocton, then from Coshocton to Mount Vernon, and just never really had a base of good friends.
You kind of cropped up out of nowhere. I remember in Little League.
Yeah. And so I developed this defense mechanism and stuff, and it carried all the way throughout until college, right? And in the past 5 to 10 years, it seems like I've had this overabundance of really, really, really good relationships. And I see this book club. I see this book club. I see this book club as just exponential growth of that as well. And so we definitely do not take it for granted, because, for a long time, that's something I didn't have. It's something I told myself I didn't need, and I was wrong about that. We're meant to live in community. You can be an introvert. I am more of an introvert, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But you still need other people. You still need that sense of community. You still need to be surrounded by positive people. And I don't always get that in different areas of my life.
Yeah.
And so it's refreshing to know I can always come to you guys, and that need is met. So
yeah. Dude, I'm with you. I've heard you talk about that before. We've talked after podcast about just the way this is coming to be, and it's fantastic. And then the whole piece with you guys are our friends, and you're a part of the book club. It's just it's be proud of that. Oh, happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Here we are.
Here we are. All right, guys, that's Share the Load. We also have stuff over on patreon.com /UpTalking Tolkien. We have probably 3 things. Well, let's see. If you're getting this on Sunday, I would say Saturday. We had 2 things drop for you, and we should have another one coming up in January.
Yeah.
And we've got 3 of our patron appendices episodes recorded.
Yep.
We have more coming on the trip in Texas. We're going to talk to Chase.
Yep.
And we've got a couple of you guys. I just saw, like I was talking to Phil. Phil is somebody who we need to have him call in.
Yep.
And we're going to have an appendices episode with him. So that's at the
Awesome.
top tier there if you want to do that. Those of you who, here's the other last plug for the Kickstarter. If you go to the $75 tier, which I know some people did, I was shocked. First of all, I added that as an afterthought.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? If somebody goes to those people are on the podcast. I don't know if they quite understood what I said in the description. That means we're calling you. You're speaking on not just on our Patreon page where a limited number of people see it. You're going to be downloaded by thousands of people, and you're going to be part of the book group. And it's going to be, once it's recorded, it's there.
Lives on.
Which is part of the problem we have on these late nights. It's like, this is not going to go back and edit a lot of this, you know? It's like,
Don't need to.
nah, man. It'll be fine. So.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Love you guys. Arts and crafts and things.
Yeah, you guys have been snowing under the real post here in Amanda. So if you have something you want to send to us, something you want us to read in person even, maybe you want to write your Tolkien story on a good old-fashioned letter and envelope, send it our way to the Shire, P.O. Box 96, Amanda O. 43102.
Have you asked the post office what they think about this? Have you asked anybody
I
that works
haven't.
down there?
And actually,
you should.
the postmaster,
Yeah.
Jeff, he's retiring this week.
Really?
He's the one he and his wife have built and are going to run the village.
Oh, yeah.
The restaurant
right, so it looks
and
really
pub.
good.
Yeah. And that's going to be our Friday spot. Ez and I have talked about it. That's our Green Dragon.
Perfect.
We're going to go hang out there on Friday nights, eat dinner there before, and then come to the
That's great.
bag end and podcast. So, yeah. Send stuff our way if you want, or that's okay if not too. That's something optional for you guys.
Somebody recently sent an actual handwritten Bywater Post letter.
Yeah.
And we got to read that. It
was
a
Brian.
Feature. Yeah, Brian.
That's right.
Higgins there. And so those are cool. Those are fun to have. So
Yeah.
if you want to send those are great.
Just no anthrax, please. Weekly.
Good God, we couldn't get through an episode.
Weekly well wishes, formerly fortnight farewells. We want to thank you for acting tame with us. On our next episode, we'll be lingering in the labyrinth that is Chapter 2, The Passage of the Marshes.
If you like our podcast, don't forget to subscribe, like us, write that review on iTunes, leave a comment, or send us a Shadowfax.
We'll see you in a... Oh, gosh. It's getting to me. It's 2:05 a.m. We'll see you in a Hobbit fortnight, and remember, Frodo lives. I don't know what
Is that the
happened just
first
there.
time that ever happened?
I don't know what happened. Like, my brain just shut off, and my voice followed.
I spoke the thought blossomed, and I spoke a word of command on accident, bro. I stopped you in mid. Dude, can I tell you something that my mom used to really like?
Absolutely.
Your mama jokes.
No way.
Yeah, dude, she loved them.
That's amazing.
My dad does too. It's just like, like one of her favorites was like, well, it was like, your mom was so old, God said, "Let there be light," and she hit the switch.
I love that one.
It's a good one.
It's classic.